From a farm in North Carolina, receiving a presidential pardon this Thanksgiving. Gobble is his partner in crime. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Want to give us a gobble?
Gobble and Waddle will spend the rest of their days at North Carolina State University. The FAA predicts today to be the busiest travel day during the holiday travel period at the airports. CBS's Chris Van Cleve on what could gum up the works.
We are watching for the potential of weather disruptions again today. The FAA is watching for delays in the Atlanta area as well as the Washington, D.C. area up through New York. Also the potential for snow as we get further into today in the Minneapolis area. Those are all hubs for airlines, so potential disruptions there.
U.S. consumers were much less confident in the economy in November. The Conference Board says that its Consumer Confidence Index dropped to the lowest reading since April, when President Trump announced sweeping tariffs that caused the stock market to plunge. PNC Chief Economist Gus Fauché.
So we're not in recession in November of 2025, but certainly this softness in consumer confidence suggests that we could see a recession at some point in the first half of next year. Not saying that that's going to happen, but I think this is a potential indicator.
President Trump has criticized Fed Chair Jerome Powell for not lowering interest rates fast enough and said that he wants to replace him, but Powell's term doesn't expire until May. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells CNBC about the search for a replacement.
Yeah, I think that there's a very, very good chance that the president will make an announcement before Christmas.
There appears to be some progress in the Russia-Ukraine peace deal, but so far only from one side. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
According to U.S. officials, the Ukrainians have signed on to an agreement in principle, that there are still some details to be worked out, but that the Ukrainians are on board with a modified peace plan that has been changed from the original 28-point plan that was viewed as being much more favorable to Russia.
If you're thinking about taking a break from a GLP-1 weight loss drug to do a little indulging over the holidays, bariatric surgeon Hani Tekla says that is not a good idea.
If you're taking it for weight loss, the things that you could experience is that the hunger sensation might return. So you will probably eat a little bit more than what you're used to, or maybe even more than your capacity. So you might experience some nausea or fullness sensation.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We're live at SeaTac Airport as we approach the holiday, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Runyon, the crash has been cleared on northbound 167 near I-405. In Tacoma, watch out for road crews. They're working on State Route 507 this morning. Travel times, you are flying. Everett to Seattle will take you about 24 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle 39, Renton to Bellevue 22, and your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Many of you are getting an early start to the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Live to SeaTac Airport and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. Luke?
Yeah. Good morning, Heather. Smooth sailing here at SeaTac this morning. Security lines are straight as an arrow right now. No snaking. Sunday is expected to be the busiest travel day for Americans. TSA reminding travelers to have your proper ID ready and pack smart. If you're hitting the roadways, you're not alone. AAA says 73 million Americans are going to drive this Thanksgiving. That's more than a million more than last year. Traffic experts say the best time to leave is before noon today, so hurry up. Tick, tick. Clock is ticking. And before 11 a.m. tomorrow, I-5 northbound from Seattle to Bellingham is by far going to be the most congested highway in our state this week. Toll lanes on 167 and 405 will be free for Thanksgiving. Live at SeaTac, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Olympic pipeline crews say they found the leak affecting the fuel supply to aircraft at SeaTac. British Petroleum, which operates the pipeline, tells KIRO 7 TV that testing confirms a leak in its 20-inch diameter pipeline near Everett. A nearby 16-inch line is not affected. The company is now developing a repair plan. We're hearing from the 33-year-old dirt biker who fell 200 feet off a cliff near Mount Rainier while taking a picture Friday. Anthony Harris tells KIRO 7 TV he took one wrong step and the ground disappeared.
Within a moment's notice, I was flying down this cliff. I had no way to grab anything. There was nothing to brace onto, so I was just going down.
Rescue crews say it took 3 hours before he could be airlifted from the scene. He suffered fractures in his face and spent a few days in a hospital. A man accused of throwing a piece of concrete at an SUV in Tacoma Saturday faced a judge. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke to the family of a passenger in the vehicle who was seriously injured.
And they tell me that this man's injuries are so bad that he may lose an eye. And we've been told by Washington State Patrol it was off of I-705 southbound. Piece of concrete is about the size of a basketball, maybe bigger, which is no surprise just how much damage this did to the car and the injuries this man suffered.
The suspect faces attempted murder and assault charges. King County deputies and SeaTac police are investigating a deadly shooting near Angle Lake last night. Officers tell the Seattle Times they found a victim while responding to calls about gunfire in the 32,000 block of South 198th Street. No word on arrests. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today with highs in the mid-40s. Be prepared for snow in the mountain passes. It's 44 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all of you. It is November 25th. We just have a couple of days before Thanksgiving. How are you all feeling today? G is out today, but Chef is in.
Good morning.
And who do we have on the board this morning?
That's Nick back there in a beanie.
Yeah. Hiding back there. Well, we've got the rest of the crew, but G is out for the rest of the week. Now, here is a shocker for you. There is a massive 18-month delay in the I-405 widening project. Sully is going to join us at 9:30, and I'm going to tell you why I think taxpayers are getting scammed. And if you think digital coupons are a pain, how about digital price tags and dynamic pricing? We're going to talk about that coming up at 9:47. As always, we invite you to join us on our KIRO News Radio text line, 888-973-5476. 888-973 KIRO. Let's get to it. Our top stories brought to you by Bathfitter Northwest. And as I mentioned, Thanksgiving is just 2 days away, and SeaTac Airport is expected to swell with travelers who maybe this morning thought they were going to be smart and leave early, and maybe they're finding out that everyone else had the same brilliant idea. Well, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is at SCA this morning. He's scouting out the mood and joins us live now.
Well, I feel like the crowds are coming. They're definitely coming. But
it's good right now.
I was surprised. It couldn't be smoother here at SeaTac
awesome.
all this morning. However, here's the bad news. Other parts of the country, back east in Atlanta, more than 500 delayed flights right now. There's an average of a 34-minute delay for flights getting out. Why do we care about that? Well, it could have a ripple effect because that's a huge Delta Airlines hub in Atlanta. Delta, the number 2 carrier here in SeaTac. So keep an eye on that. TSA expects today and tomorrow are going to be busy. Again, it'll pick up here today, but tomorrow will definitely be busy. The busiest travel day is going to be Sunday, with everyone trying to get back home in time for work. Some tips from TSA: if you are coming to the airport, have your ID ready, a real ID or a passport. Pack smart and listen to those instructions when you're in the security line. Now, listen to this. If you're flying across the country from Seattle today, you're going on one of those long flights back east, the Olympic pipeline leak we've been telling you about all week in Snohomish is impacting flights. They are trucking jet fuel down from Blaine to SeaTac. But Alaska Airlines has been landing in Billings, Montana to refuel jets on their way to the East Coast. Yeah, and then Delta has been doing the same thing in Spokane. And then for international flights, I had a friend who went on an international flight not too long ago, or has one booked at least, and they've already said, hey, update to your flight. We're going to take off and then land in Canada before we go to our final destination to refuel. It's something you don't expect, tacking on about an hour or two to each flight, but that's how they're dealing with the fuel situation, not having enough jet fuel here. Let's talk about driving real fast. 90% of people traveling for the Thanksgiving will be driving. AAA projects 73 million Americans traveling by car, 1 million more drivers than last year. Inrex has some tips for you. The best time to drive, take off now, before noon today and before 11 a.m. tomorrow. And the most congested route this week in our state, I-5 northbound, anywhere between Seattle and Bellingham, you're going to be in it. It's almost guaranteed.
But it sounds like right now, as you've mentioned, SEA is smooth sailing. It's always funny when we send reporters out and it's like, no, all good. Perry Cooper is right. All's good at SeaTac Airport.
Well, they've got the new Checkpoint 5 open that's larger, and so I'm wondering if that's kind of helped out. But look, I saw plenty of families here this early this morning. I'm talking like 5 a.m. and I went up to them and I saw those looks like, no, don't ask me any questions, not today. Tired kids, luggage everywhere, and so people were expecting bad things. But it's all good. Hey, let me ask you: do you all have pet peeves when you travel, when you fly? I know I do.
Yes. I do. One of my biggest ones is I never seem to find the security line that is the shortest. And I always find when it comes time to taking off the shoes and all that, I always find the line where it seems like the people ahead of me have never flown before.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Well, I met this morning a guy named Fred. He was flying from SeaTac to Chicago. He's taken off a while ago. I think he's my best travel buddy of all time. He gets me. I get him. I was talking with him, and I asked him, what is one of the worst things for him traveling? Here's what he said.
So it's the ones that feel entitled to get in front of you because they decided to leave 15 minutes late, and I left 15 minutes on time, and now you get to push me around.
Oh, no.
Right, and then you suffer, right, because someone else is, right, you did all the things, and then so it just takes one person. But here's another pet peeve of his.
They get to the TSA gate and they just forget that it's a TSA gate and you have to be prepared to take your shoes off or be prepared to open your bag up. So, yeah, it's those people.
I understand, Fred. That's me picking that line.
The laptop's there.
Oh, I didn't know I can't bring liquids.
Yeah. Are you sure I can't take this through? Well, Luke, I think what that reminds me is that unfortunately, even though holidays are supposed to be happy occasions, getting to and from them can be hugely stressful. And if you are driving anywhere on a holiday, because let's face it, none of us can leave this morning. A lot of us still have pies to make and things like that. We can't do it 2 days ahead. The roads, people get insane on the roads on holidays. Just like for everybody listening, and I am one of those people who gets frustrated, impatient. Take it easy. You don't need to drive 90 miles an hour.
So true.
Cut
Luke,
people off.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm one of those people too, though. I am. I tell people, hey, just be calm, let people merge in, let's all be friendly and nice. And then, but I know myself, and when I get out there, I like to point out to people who's number one, if you know what I mean.
I'll tell you what. Instead of beeping your horn, before you beep, use that same hand that you're going to use to beep and just wave and smile. That's what I suggest.
Yeah, you're a better person.
Luke, thank you. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Good chatting with you.
Okay, Luke mentioned the Olympic pipeline.
Yeah.
It is under scrutiny again. Mm-hmm. And this is the same system that is leaking near Everett. And as he mentioned, it's cutting off jet fuel to SeaTac. And now the operators are facing nearly $4 million in fines. But this is for an entirely separate incident. It was a spill in Skagit County in 2023. The State Department of Ecology has now fined Olympic Pipeline Company and BP Pipelines 21,000 gallons of gasoline spilled into an irrigation channel that feeds the Skagit River near Conway. And, okay, so get this. The problem was a corroded nut on a high-pressure line failed. The alarms went off for 2 days. And the crews did not initially locate the leak. And when BP finally shut down the pipeline, a technician found gasoline overflowing from an underground vault and flowing 400 feet downhill into a field, into sensitive wetlands, and that irrigation channel, which again feeds into the Skagit River. Cleanup of that lasted 3 months. But I also need to point out that for people who've lived here for a long time, this pipeline's troubling history includes the 1999 Bellingham disaster that killed 3 children. And my question is, after all of these repeated failures, what should we, or should I say the state, be doing to force those in charge of this pipeline to do a better job?
Clearly, they don't care. I mean, if an alarm can go off for 2 days and nobody bothers to check, after 3 kids have died, it took them like 3 or 4 days during this latest spill for them. We can't locate the leak. Where is it? It's a pipe. It's not that hard to look at a pipe and say, oh, there's liquid coming out here.
Yeah, what's with your detection system?
Right, and fines don't work. fines for multi-billion-dollar companies do not work. It's the cost of doing business. And I mean, I guess we all pay for it eventually through increased prices. Why don't we have executive liability, Ursula? Like, why don't we have the ability to force companies to ban dividends, right, while their company's under investigation, take away executive bonuses?
How about imposing real fines that scale with corporate profits?
What a concept.
Yeah, because in this case, a $4 million fine, as you said, is going to do nothing. But the company also knows that it's too important to ever face being forced to shut down entirely. I mean, this is 400 miles of aging steel that essentially is the backbone of our fuel delivery for the entire Northwest. We're talking about not just SeaTac Airport, JBLM, our ferries, our first responders, our hospitals, all rely on this pipeline. Think about it. It's like we're all at the mercy of this pipeline, and yet it feels like we're letting it run on hope and a prayer.
I question why it should be privately run anyways, because it seems like it's public infrastructure. And if they can't run it, then they need to fix it, and it could be seized, just like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Seattle's mayor-elect Katie Wilson has not been invited to the White House, just not yet anyway, but she says if President Trump did extend that invitation, yes, she would go. Absolutely no hesitation. And her promise is simple. She says she's going to meet with anyone because, as she put it, he is the president of the United States. Now, it's not clear if Trump plans to extend an invitation because, remember, after she was elected, he made it clear he was not exactly impressed.
I watched her over the weekend. Wow, that's another beauty we got there.
The president even raised the possibility of moving the World Cup games out of Seattle next summer if our new mayor lets everything go to pot.
You have a very, very liberal/communist mayor. If we think there's going to be a problem, we're going to move the event to someplace where it's going to be appreciated and safe.
But, Chef, as the Seattle Times points out, Wilson's openness to meeting with Trump and any other opponents of hers tells you a lot about how she plans to govern. I'll be honest, y'all know that I did not vote for her, and I have been a strong critic of hers because of what I perceive as a lack of maybe qualifications, but she is an unapologetic progressive. She's a socialist who ran on taxing the rich, building thousands of new shelter units. She has raised the idea of public grocery stores, and she's laid the groundwork for universal child care. But unlike some other previous mayors,
Nichols. I'm sorry, not Nichols. Mike McGinn, yes.
Yeah. She is not shutting out business groups. She's not shutting out moderates or even her harshest critics. She even sat down with Amazon recently. So what do you make of all this?
I'm encouraged, at least. I think the last administration probably got tagged a little bit too hard for paying too much attention to certain interests, like the Downtown Seattle Association that they mentioned in this. But I think that for far too long, liberals have enjoyed staying in their own echo chamber. And that is to the benefit of no one.
That's right.
I mean, what do you make of this? Because you've been one of her harshest critics, I would say.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I am encouraged, and I always say that I have a vested interest in the success of Seattle. So I'm also very defensive when it comes to people saying that the city is dying. Obviously, I have chosen to have a home here. I hope that my future grandkids will want to live here, et cetera. So I'm one of those that really is rooting for the success of this city, and because I also know that it impacts the rest of the region. You can't have a homelessness crisis, a budget crisis, an affordability crisis, a downtown that hasn't fully recovered, and have a mayor that is only going to focus on one set of voices, right? And so I'm encouraged that she actually has brought a whole bunch of different voices and is listening to them as she gets ready to take office. And like you said, I don't think you can be expecting to have real progress if you only listen to those in your own echo chamber.
Right. She gave a quote to the Times, and she said there are going to be some people who probably see taking those meetings, like the Downtown Seattle Association, as selling out. That is the most juvenile attitude that I've ever heard. The whole concept of selling out, whether you're a left progressive candidate or you're far right, whatever it is, if you're selling out by taking a meeting, Remember that back in the day when your favorite band, someone would say, oh, they sold out.
Yeah.
You mean they decided to get paid? Taking it, that's called being an adult. Being an adult means having critical conversations with people that you might not agree with. And you don't have to take their advice,
Yes.
but you should listen.
At least be open to the idea that some other ideas might be better than yours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am encouraged. This is a really disturbing story. A Kirkland mother is now facing first-degree manslaughter charges after prosecutors say she let her 10-year-old daughter, who has type 1 diabetes, slip into a fatal medical crisis during a family road trip. Court documents say Lloydina McAllister noticed clear signs of diabetic ketoacidosis, but did not call 911. Instead, she drove hundreds of miles from Kirkland to Northern California and back, past more than 30 hospitals, while her daughter got sicker and sicker in the back seat. And by the time they reached Mary Bridge Children's Hospital in Tacoma, the girl had been dead for hours, sitting next to her siblings. And what's even more tragic and infuriating is that this was not the first warning. Medical staff and school employees had reported concerns about the girl's diabetes management to the state's Child Welfare Agency 4 separate times over the years. And she had been hospitalized repeatedly for dangerously high blood sugar. Okay, that's not even all. Investigators say the mom later searched the internet for ways to quickly lower blood sugar, and after her daughter's death, she Googled whether police investigate sudden death from diabetes.
Oh, my God.
And she's now pleaded not guilty and is being held on $1 million bail.
Boy, the first reaction I think that comes to most people's mind is, what is going on with the Department of Children, Youth, and Families? What is going on with oversight? And the instant thing that you want to do is you want to blame the agency or blame the workers. But I think we need to have a better understanding of what is going on. Are caseworkers overworked? Do they not have enough time to deal with complaints? Are they able to actually do all the visits that are needed to make sure that kids are safe? Because there are, let's face it, tens of thousands of kids in our state whose parents either abuse or neglect them in varying degrees. And it's hard to keep oversight over all of those. But you'd think with, what, 4?
Well, that's just it.
4?
I mean, I totally hear what you're saying, and I agree, because they can only intervene when there's clear and current danger that they can prove that a kid is in immediate danger and needs to be moved out. So otherwise, the state doesn't have the legal authority to remove a child or mandate oversight.
Right.
But there were 4 cases where those should have been just major red flags. And if we're talking about a system that, first of all, always wants to keep, as much as possible, the kid with the parent, and then the other thing would be, as you said, they're overburdened, they're overworked, they don't always have the proof that they need. I mean, this kid did not have a chance.
And the sibling, too. I mean, died next to her 12-year-old sibling.
Yeah, it is tragic, absolutely. Okay, still ahead, we are going to have Sully join us because I see the headline says, massive 18-month delay in 405 widening project. Why am I not surprised? We'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
The Jake and Spike Show.
My mother was a horrible cook, by the way. I love her. Love her all the live long day.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
God love her, but she was a terrible cook.
What do you think about why couldn't she cook?
I don't know.
She just didn't love you enough?
I'll tell you why she couldn't cook.
Yeah.
She was a victim of her era. She was the modern mom that had to work, right? Both parents worked.
Yeah.
Easy convenience, TV dinners, whatnots.
Where do I put the helper? Huh?
Yeah, I wish I was kid.
Mama's secret
Mom,
ingredient.
I love you. And, I love her. I still love her. I talk to her every day.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
The Puyallup Tribe of Indians and Salish Cancer Center are excited to announce the third annual Giving Hope Gala. You can help support the Giving Hope Gala December 13th at the Emerald Queen Casino Event Center and raise money for the Patient Financial Assistance Fund. The Salish Cancer Center helps anyone battling cancer, and attending this incredible event supports that cause. For tickets, sponsorship, and additional information on the Giving Hope Gala, visit puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
One day, the words on the page blur. You hold the menu a little farther away. It's subtle, until it's not. At Near and Far Vision Partners, we help you see clearly, near, far, and in between. Expert surgeons, advanced technology, sharper focus for every moment. Schedule your complimentary consultation at nearandfarvision.com or call 425-900-2414. Near and Far Vision Partners in Bothell.
Your new home is ready now. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new construction communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington, with more coming. Find your new home at drhorton.com. America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealership and has the state's largest selection. Get the 2025 Crosstrek at 1.9% financing for 72 months. And during the Share the Love event, Subaru donates $250 for every new Subaru purchase to one of 6 charities, including hometown favorite Paws. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized costs. See dealer for details. Valid through 11/30/25.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. In just half an hour, a winter weather advisory takes effect for the mountains. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Morgan Palmer says be ready for snow if your Thanksgiving travel takes you over the mountain passes.
Up to 10 inches of snow through the passes. I think about 6 to 10 is a good range for Stevens and Snoqualmie passes, and then it could turn to freezing rain for a brief time before precipitation ends.
SeaTac Airport's predicting 900,000 people will travel through the airport over the holiday. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is there. Luke, is it getting busy?
No, surprisingly, it's not. Just the opposite. Short and straight security lines here at SeaTac. If you're hitting the road, though, you're not going to be alone. AAA expects 73 million Americans are going to be driving this Thanksgiving, more than last year. Traffic experts say the best time to head out is before noon today. Clock is ticking on that one, and before 11 a.m. tomorrow to avoid the worst backups. I-5 northbound from Seattle to Bellingham is going to be the most congested highway stretch in the state this week. Back here at SeaTac, Sunday is going to be the busiest travel day. People coming back home, trying to get back in time for work. TSA reminds travelers to have proper ID and pack smart. Live at SeaTac, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Consumers may be ready for a holiday. New numbers show they're not very confident about the economy. CBS's Jason Brooks explains.
The combination of weakening job prospects and persistently high prices sank the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index for November, dropping to a reading of 88.7 from 95.5 in October, well below market estimates and the second lowest level since April.
Overseas, there's word Ukraine is agreeing in principle to a peace plan brokered with the help of the U.S. But if Russia is demanding to keep the land it seized in the war it started 4 years ago, Eurasia expert Michael Bashakiw points out.
Anything that involves ceding territory needs to be approved by the Ukrainian parliament. We know how they're going to vote. They're going to vote against it.
Ukraine's president could visit the U.S. by the end of the month. In the Middle East, a Pope mobile has been repurposed.
The late Pope Francis visiting Bethlehem more than a decade ago. Now, the converted Mitsubishi pickup donated for that visit by the Palestinian Authority has been transformed into a mobile pediatric clinic bound for Gaza. Cardinal Anders Arborelius of Stockholm.
This vehicle stands as a testament. The world has not forgotten the children of Gaza.
The initiative was blessed by Francis himself before he died last April. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 553 points, NASDAQ ahead 81. KIRO News Radio traffic, no major blocking problems right now. Remember, in the town of Pacific, there are lane restrictions on State Route 167. This is for bridge repair work. Travel times, Everett to Seattle, 24 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 28. Renton to Bellevue, 22. Tacoma to Olympia, half an hour. Lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue, prosculpt.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today with highs in the mid-40s. Be prepared for snow in the mountain passes. It's 44 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and I'm happy to have Chris Sullivan joining me right now because we need to talk about all things transportation. And I saw the headline, and then I heard your explanation this morning about what is going on with the 405 widening project. And I can't help but feel a little skeptical about what is going on here. But explain what's going on.
Okay, well, I found out yesterday from the person in charge of the 405 widening project. For people who don't travel on the east side, for about 5 years now, 405 has been under construction. They're widening the freeway from Renton, Bellevue down into Renton, and then adding express toll lanes, just like they have from Renton on up into the Bothell area. Or sorry, from Bellevue into Bothell. And so, the project was supposed to wrap up this year. And anybody who drives knew that was not going to happen probably like a year ago.
It just didn't look like it was going to be
just
done
not done
anytime soon. Okay.
No, there's just so much work going on down there. And so we got the word yesterday that it's going to be delayed another 18 months. It was supposed well, I'll get to that. So I just that's summer of 2027. The reason? The work just isn't being done as fast as was promised by the contractor. WashDOT is putting this entirely on the contractor because the contractor, this is a design build deal. They said they could get it done in this time frame for $705 million. The time frame has come and they're not done. And
so that's simply unacceptable.
Correct.
So what is the remedy?
Well, right now, the WashDOT is suing the contractor. And apparently behind the scenes, they've been in active litigation and talking about this since 2023, which lets you know that behind the scenes that this was never going to finish by 2025. They just didn't want to go public with it for whatever reason. I asked about that, and they're like, well, it's ongoing litigation. We can't talk about specifics. Because
that's the part I feel is a scam. And I feel like taxpayers are getting scammed.
Especially since I've been asking for, at the end of last year, hey, are we going to open in 2025? We're going to open in 2025. Even through the legislature, are we going to open it? And it never was talked about, never was discussed. But behind the scenes, we come to find out that, we knew it wasn't going to be this. I don't know why they weren't a little more forthcoming, and I can go back to Lisa. She's the program administrator. She's in charge of this corridor. Go, why don't you just let us know? And maybe that was part of the litigation tactic. I'm not sure, but I don't have an answer to that. Yes.
How many contractors bid on this particular project?
I haven't gone back and looked at that, and I will.
Because so often there's like one.
Correct.
And so then you're beholden to whatever.
Kind of like we had with the ferry system.
Correct. And so when you offer a bid and deliberately make it low so that taxpayers are like, okay, that sounds, reasonable as you're asking us for more and more money. And then it's like, oh, oops, it's not going to be done on time, nowhere close, and it's not going to be done on budget.
Correct. And
that's just outrageous.
Yeah, it is. And and again, it's not like WashDOT has a huge history of this, but it is. I mean, we've done a lot of mega projects in this state that have run over and run long on both budget and time. But this one, it just seemed when she told me 18 months yesterday, I was like, well, why? Because they don't have any confidence in the contractor. And what's weird is that the contractor and them share the same office space. I was in it yesterday. And so this has all the vibes of Bertha. If you can remember back, the WashDOT working with the contractor, and then the contractor is fighting with them over change orders and millions of dollars in change orders, a mysterious pipe, if anybody remembers that. And yet they're still working together to build they haven't fired the contractor, and in this case, so they're working together still while their lawyers are arguing over cost overruns, work order changes, and the DOT suing them for not living up to their contract. So there's a lot that I don't know because they're not telling me because of litigation purposes. That's also a way to kind of hide behind.
Well, and it's why people end up losing confidence in these big dollar projects. So what does this mean for drivers then? 18-month delay. So now what?
So that means they're going to be dealing with the construction, which has been very impactful on the drive, to say the least, for anybody who doesn't drive between Bellevue and Renton on that stretch of 405. It's right there along Lake Washington. They first moved people into the inside of the freeway, then they moved them now to the outside as they're working. They've been building sound walls. If anyone's been near the VMAC or tried to go to the VMAC during, say, Seahawks preseason and training camp, they know what that looks like. They're building 2 giant bridges there that they're done with, but they're in the process of redoing that whole interchange. It's been lanes are changing. The lines aren't really well drawn out. When it rains, you can't tell which lane you're in. It's been very impactful for the public, and so they're going to have to deal with that for another 18 months until we get this. And then, of course, that also delays the implementation of the full tolling system, which they want to have from Linwood down to Puyallup. That leaves that big gap between Bellevue and Renton, kind of putting the congestion behind the 8 ball here.
Maureen, the 253 says, I-405 has been under construction since I moved here in 1977.
It's kind of getting the Tacoma vibe
right?
as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so, it's been that way in a variety of different ways. But, this one it's unfortunate. I wish they'd let us know before, but every time I asked, they said they couldn't talk about it. They couldn't talk, which told me that we were going to be way behind. But I didn't expect it to be that. For a matter of fact, when I started tweeting this out yesterday, this is an exclusive story that we had, an exclusive interview with the regional administrator, and people were like, "You mean 2026, right?" I'm like, no, I mean 2027. So they were thinking, this is a big deal.
Okay, let's talk about other big deals, because we're learning that the cost of the West Seattle Link Light Rail project has officially blown past the breaking point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shocker that wasn't going to happen.
That's another thing.
I mean,
Sound Transit,
$7 billion, and it was supposed to be $4 billion. Or just for that section.
$4 billion. Okay, and describe for people who aren't totally following this, what kind of section are we talking about?
This would go from basically
to now $7 billion.
SoDo over and up into the West Seattle Junction. Basically, just go that little corridor. Basically, replace the West Seattle Bridge with a rail line. You have to build a bridge over the top of the Duwamish, and most people wanted it grade going up the hill. Some have said to tunnel under. But again, $7 billion.
So that's a nearly $3 billion overrun before someone has ever stepped foot onto a platform.
Before they've even started designing it, really. And at the same time, we've seen a similar jump in the price tag to Ballard as well. And I've been talking for years. It's going to sound weird, but it's time to put a bullet in this. I mean, it's time to, but I know because they won't, because the voters were promised in ST3 that they would get to West Seattle, they would get to Ballard. But at what point, we were also promised this whole project would be $54 billion.
Right.
Last time I checked, it's $35 billion over budget.
Okay, I'm
based
curious.
on their last estimates, and they don't know how to get that. They just raised your property taxes.
I know.
Well, mine too, because I'm in the RTA up in the Snohomish County area and haven't seen anything from this. And they're talking about going back to the voters for an ST4 internally to try to make up the difference.
Well, I'm going to guess that they're going to have a harder time with ST4 if this part is now, again, over budget.
Then you got to,
you got to
talk to the people in King County. You got to talk to your homies here in King County. Let's think about
again.
Let's think about ST3. Failed in Pierce County, barely passed in Snohomish County, but overwhelmingly passed in King. Well, let me guess who's going to vote for Ballard and West Seattle. Well, the other two dangling ends aren't going to get anything anymore. Still, who's going to vote for it?
You know who we need to get on?
Dow Constantine?
That's correct. Sound Transit.
Mr. Falling Up to Dow Constantine. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
someone who's had a vested interest on the board for years and now he's running it.
Yes. So
and has
we
done
need
such
to
a great
have
job
him
managing it.
On the show. And if you're listening.
Defend it.
Yes, exactly. Explain to us. Because this is, again, outrageous.
$35 billion over.
Yeah.
Total. I mean, yeah.
That's not okay.
No, it isn't. I know I'm not running that over on I'm running over on your time because my music's playing. That's just sad.
Do all of you listening right now, do you agree? Should they get rid of the Ballard and West Seattle?
Or find something different? Yeah. I mean, bus service works really well there. Didn't we just redo the West Seattle Bridge? I mean, I know it was promised, but come on.
Exactly. Sully, thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
I think I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to say
promised to
Happy
dress up. I
Thanksgiving
came in early today I came in at 4 to get my choke point done. So I'm looking a little below average today.
Okay, perfect. Okay, still ahead. Do you get frustrated with those digital coupons? Well, what about digital price tags? Now, those are becoming more and more popular, and we'll tell you there are some people who are hopping mad about them. More on the Gee and Ursula Show coming up next.
The Seahawks got it done on the road.
Gonna let it fly. Got a man, JSN. Makes the catch.
Bouncing back.
For a touchdown. Seahawks!
We always just put the mission over anything else, no matter what it is, man. We try to get that W.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, holy catfish!
Happy for JSN. He's doing an incredible job. Brings it every day.
But every opportunity he has to make a play, he's doing it.
It's just hard to guard him, bro. Like, he's just so efficient at what he do.
Where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
This season, gift yourself the chance to slow down and truly savor holiday wonders just a short journey from home. Victoria, BC glows with festive lights, charming traditions, and the space to reconnect with yourself, loved ones, and the joy of the season. Victoria is just a scenic ferry or seaplane ride from Seattle, making it the perfect getaway. This Christmas, step into a more relaxed rhythm. Plan your trip at tourismvictoria.com.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Eric Butler here, General Manager at Kia of Everett, your simple, easy, fun dealership. Winter roads are coming. Good thing Kia of Everett makes driving simple, easy, and fun. With advanced safety features and all-weather performance across our entire lineup, come take a test drive from our huge selection of the best all-wheel drive models and option packages, ready to take on whatever this season throws our way. With amazing pricing and financing, now is the time to buy at Kia of Everett.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out. Chef is out now as well. But look who came in. Paul Holden, saving the day.
Hey, hello. Happy to be here. Let me get myself in camera frame here so people aren't just looking at my
good
chest
morning.
here.
Okay, question for you, because obviously Thanksgiving coming up in 2 days, and then there's all the Black Friday hoopla and the shopping. Are you a big shopper?
I'm starting to become more of a shopper now that I'm getting a little older, and especially I got nieces and my nephews now getting to that point where gifts are a thing that we remember. Same with my niece, so it's starting to pick up a little bit more.
Okay, so this should interest you. This should actually interest all of us, because if you get frustrated with things like digital coupons, there's something new that's coming on, and maybe it's just a new way of an old format, but digital price tags are coming to grocery stores, stores like Walmart and others. And Walmart, Kroger, Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods, they're all rolling out these electronic shelf labels. They're basically small digital screens on the shelf that will replace the paper tags. And what they're saying is it's all about the convenience. So instead of having their workers spending days swapping out the stickers, a store can change thousands of prices in minutes with an app. But some shoppers are not too happy about this. I mean, it's basically dynamic pricing.
I just went to Walmart to get rhinestones. This tiny thing of rhinestones was like $2.98. I get up to the cash register and it rings up as like $7.50. So I swiftly left and went back to the crafting aisle, and I took a picture of the price and I brought it back up front, and he's like, I can honor it for now, but just so you know, the pricing is going to be changing. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, we're going to get like the digital price tags, so soon the price can change at any time, and then we're not going to be able to price match any pictures you provide us. Robbery, straight robbery. I'm not paying $7 for fucking cheap ass rhinestones and having the price of my food like double or triple on me, and you're not going to honor the price that's in front of me on the shelf.
Okay, so this is getting a lot more attention because, again, more and more stores are going to be using this. Senator Elizabeth Warren and others in Congress are warning that this opens the door to dynamic pricing, and that is essentially where the cost of basics, whether it's milk or bread or diapers, could go up depending on the time of day, or maybe it's the weather. If there's a storm, all of a sudden everyone's in trying to get de-icing materials.
Super Bowl,
whatever. Exactly.
Something like that. I mean, we've seen... I remember there was, I think, fast food restaurants, when they first switched to the digital menu boards, this was one of the things they were talking about. They raised these things. Of course, they're going to do this dynamic pricing stuff. And I mean, it's so unfair to me as the consumer, where it's just like, again, 90, what if a heat dome hits you here and you need ice? Oh, guess what? We can just, that ice is usually 99 cents for that bag. Now it's $1.99, and they can change it like that. I just think that this is a way to squeeze every last dollar, instead of, at a time where we're paying more and more for groceries. At least it feels like my grocery bill hasn't gone down, in years. What felt like this is just another opportunity for them to hide under the convenience. Like, oh, it's so difficult for our staff. You have overnight staff who come and stock your shelves. Would they not also be doing this?
Well, I understand that part would be... Okay, that part would be more convenient. And
True.
Tyson in Snohomish just sent us a text that said, my wife is the one responsible for putting all of those digital price tags in the stores across the country. Now, I want to say that, yeah, there could be convenience, but let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, basically, yeah, you can play around with the pricing a lot faster. And Kroger right now is pushing back in a letter to lawmakers saying that it has never used surge pricing and that these smart tags mostly help them manage their inventory. And I get that part too.
Sure.
But, and then there are some economists who are backing that all up and saying, yeah, dynamic time-based discounts can actually cut food waste by about 20%. So there might be some benefits, but let's get real. You know that those prices are going to go up.
And they're going to stay up. We just had Herb Weisbaum on Seattle's Morning News talking about fake sales. And this seems like a type of thing that could be ripe for something like that. But hey, hoping for the best, obviously. Like you said, hoping it manages the inventory. Hope the positives are what they're going for. But for me, this just seems like that.
Beware. Okay, still ahead, we have more of the Gee and Ursula Show. Stay with us.
The Jake and Spike Show.
My mother was a horrible cook, by the way. I love her. Love her all the live long day.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
God love her, but she was a terrible cook.
What do you think about why couldn't she cook?
I don't know.
She just didn't love you enough?
I'll tell you why she couldn't cook.
Yeah.
She was a victim of her era. She was the modern mom. They had to work, right? Both parents worked.
Yeah.
Easy convenience, TV dinners, whatnots.
Where do I put the helper?
Yeah, I'm not. I wish I was kidding.
Mama's secret
Mom,
ingredient.
I love you. And, I love her. I still love her. I talk to her every day.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces. And trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
It's Black Friday Frenzy at Olympic Hot Tub. Unwrap huge holiday savings on Tilo saunas and our amazing new Vigor Cold Plunge. Hurry, the savings end November 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. By some estimates, this could be the busiest Thanksgiving at airports in 15 years. Bradley Blackburn with the latest.
It's as much a tradition as turkey and pumpkin pie. Packed airports in the days before Thanksgiving. This year, the TSA expects to screen some 18 million people from today till next Tuesday. And officials promise they are ready for the crowds.
For us, this week is our Super Bowl. And I'm here to tell you we've got a great plan. We're past the laps. Controllers are back at work. They're excited to be back on the job. They're excited to be compensated to be back on the job.
That's FAA Administrator Brian Bedford. Some turkey interrupts the president.
Today we continue a time-honored American tradition. Well, that's a well-trained turkey.
50-pound waddle and gobble, both from a North Carolina farm and in an annual tradition, receive presidential pardons. They'll now retire to North Carolina State University. A U.S. official tells CBS News that Ukraine agrees to a peace proposal with only minor details to settle. More from CBS's Holly Williams.
The initial response from Ukraine's leader, President Volodymyr Zelensky, was that the plan could mean the loss either of Ukraine's dignity or of a key partner, that is, the United States. However, after U.S. and Ukrainian officials rushed to meet on Sunday in Switzerland, Zelensky started sounding much more upbeat. And last night, in an address to the nation, he said that changes had been made to the plan and it could become workable.
French President Emmanuel Macron warns that Russia showed little sign of seeking a ceasefire with Ukraine and is calling for continued pressure on Moscow to negotiate. More arrests overseas over last month's theft of the French crown jewels.
Prosecutors in Paris say 2 men and 2 women have been arrested in connection with the $100 million jewel heist at the Louvre Museum, bringing to 8 the number of suspects in custody. It's not yet clear what part these new suspects are believed to have played in the theft. There's still no sign of the stolen jewels, including a diamond and emerald necklace given by Napoleon to Empress Marie-Louise. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Virginia State Police have gotten warrants for missing high school football coach Travis Turner, who they say is wanted on charges of possessing child pornography and using a computer to solicit a minor. Turner of Appalachia, Virginia, has been missing since last week, and CBS's Anna Schechter reports.
Local police have deployed drones and canines, but 5 days into their search, they say their top priority is locating Turner alive and safe.
Gunmen have taken 10 women and children from a village in Nigeria's western Kwara state, the latest kidnapping in that country. This is CBS News.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
What you're paying for gas here and in other parts of the country this holiday. That story coming up. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. No major blocking problems right now. Remember, in the town of Pacific, you have lane restrictions on State Route 167. This is for bridge repair work. Travel times looking great and dropping. Everett to Seattle, 22 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 21. Renton to Bellevue, 14. Tacoma to Olympia, 32. And your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by Mary Bridge Children's Festival of Trees in Tacoma. Trees that twinkle, Santa smiles, and the stuff of holiday dreams. Details at festivalofTreesTacoma.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
The best thing is
visiting family and friends.
A passenger at SeaTac this morning, just over 900,000 travelers are expected through the airport over the Thanksgiving holiday. AAA predicts 6 million Americans, all told, will travel by air, 2.5 by bus, train, or boat. The most, 73 million, will drive. Well, as you get ready to hit the road this Thanksgiving, budget a little extra money before you fill the gas tank. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon explains.
Right now, the average for a gallon of regular in Washington is $4.18. Snohomish County, slightly higher than that. A big jump for King County, $4.55 right there. And Pierce County, it's $4.24.
The national average price for a gallon of gas is just over $3. The man accused of throwing a piece of concrete onto I-705, hitting an SUV in Pierce County, now faces attempted murder and assault charges. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman reports the family of a passenger hit by debris says he may lose an eye.
State Patrol says they got multiple calls Saturday night of a man acting erratically on the side of the highway, carrying that large piece of concrete and threatening drivers. After he threw it, troopers were able to locate him not far from the scene in downtown Tacoma.
He was quickly arrested. In Everett, a woman is recovering in a hospital after a car crashed into her home after witnesses say the driver hit the gas instead of the brake. It happened around noon yesterday near 18th Avenue West and 97th Place Southwest. Neighbors tell KIRO 7 TV.
It's lucky nobody else was hurt. Lucky school wasn't out. We have lots of traffic here.
The woman was hit by flying debris while sitting on a couch with her 4-year-old son. The boy was not injured. We're hearing from the dirt biker who fell 200 feet off a cliff near Mount Rainier while taking a picture Friday. More from KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bow.
Anthony Harris took one wrong step last Friday and the ground disappeared.
I was flying down this cliff. I had no way to grab anything. There was nothing to brace onto.
He'd just hopped off his dirt bike near Mount Rainier. Search and rescue rigged high-angle ropes to pull him up the hillside. They say it took 3 hours before he could be airlifted out. Anthony spent a couple days in the hospital, suffering from fractures in his face.
His wife and kids say they're just grateful he's alive. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain with highs in the mid-40s today. Be prepared for snow in the mountain passes. It's 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday to all of you. I hope you are all getting ready for Thanksgiving weekend. And if you are the one who is hosting, like I am, that it's not too stressful of a week for you. G is out today. He is getting his Thanksgiving parties started early. Paul Holden has stepped in because Chef had to step out. And in studio with us right now is former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. So I want to get right to our top stories.
What's new at 10?
First of all, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Happy Thanksgiving week.
Thank you. For anyone who is watching us on YouTube, you will see that it is very brightly lit into our studio. So now, John, you are being blinded, and I apologize for that. They're trying to work on the best lighting for our cameras now, since we are now on video. But in any case, right now we are watching a disturbing trend play out nationally, and I would argue that it should concern all of us, regardless of how you feel about immigration policy. And this is according to reporting from the Los Angeles Times. More than 170 U.S. citizens, mostly Latino, have now been detained, zip-tied, tackled, or held for hours by ICE since January. And these are folks who are carrying passports, real IDs, birth certificates, and they were still taken into custody. And the part that should worry all of us is that ICE's own written rules say that they cannot detain U.S. citizens, and they're required to verify citizenship claims quickly and handle those cases with the utmost care. And what we're seeing doesn't necessarily support what is supposed to be happening. And add to that the confusion that Homeland Security leadership has publicly denied that these incidents have even happened, even though there's video evidence of it. So, John, I'm hoping that you can help us understand a very practical question. If an American citizen is confronted by ICE or any federal agent and that agent gets it wrong, what are legal rights of that citizen at that moment?
Well, the first thing you need to do, I think, is not fight back. Certainly let them know that you're a legal U.S. citizen, that you've got your papers on you, although it's a shame we've gotten to this point in America where you have to carry papers to keep from getting arrested. That would certainly be my advice. But it's all of a sudden your ox is getting gored. And by that I mean now U.S. citizens are going through what undocumented aliens and documented aliens have been going through now for quite some time, with the way that ICE is coming into our communities, the way they're acting, the way they're behaving, the way they're dressed. All of this is beyond the pale as far as I'm concerned.
And so you said, obviously, not to fight back. Then what? I mean, essentially, what are we seeing play out?
Well, what we are seeing is illegal conduct on the part of ICE. You cannot detain someone unless you have probable cause. You can detain them on reasonable suspicion for a small, short amount of time to determine what's going on. But this is happening for several hours until they're letting these people go, apparently. And this is based on what what the ICE agents are being told by their leaders, that the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. The constitutional requirements for arrest and detention don't apply anymore because they're enforcing immigration law. And that's just not true. They're getting away with it, basically. And until people push back enough and it goes to the courts and the courts put these people on a short leash, it's going to continue.
But this also, though, creates this really unusual dynamic, because this is not supposed to be, first of all, the way that we view these federal agents. And it also, some could argue, puts them at risk as well. Because if now there is this complete distrust of anyone who is wearing one of their uniforms, or if you can see a uniform, it also puts them at risk.
Or my uniform, or a local police uniform. It's the same thing. We've gotten to a point in our country when people don't trust the government. And that's one thing this country was built on, is being able to trust your government, that they're going to do the right thing. They're going to tell you the truth. Obviously, the government strays from time to time, way too often. But the bottom line is you have to be able to trust your government as you go about your daily affairs. The Washington State Constitution is unique in that it has a phrase in there that the people of Washington State shall be free to go about their business without government intrusion. That's why in Washington we don't have roadblocks to catch DUIs because they're illegal. Well, the same thing should apply on the federal level. We should be able to trust federal officers that they're not going to violate our civil rights. Still get their job done, which is necessary, but don't violate people's civil rights as they do it.
I want to talk about a big drug bust that, you as former King County Sheriff, I'm going to guess that you have a lot to say about this recent drug bust. King County deputies are saying it's one of the biggest ones of the year, and they say it is tied directly to the Sinaloa cartel. And detectives spent months tracking a supplier who was allegedly getting more than 100 pounds of product every few weeks and then moving it through King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. From your experience as sheriff of King County, talk to us about how robust the investigations involving drugs are within the department and something like this as a result.
Well, not only was I sheriff for 5 years, but I was also a narcotics detective for many, many, many years, working out of the Burien precinct, which is where I think this drug bust came from. Years ago, before I was sheriff, we got rid of our centralized drug enforcement unit and just relied on precinct-level drug interdictions, which was fine. They did a good job. But every now and again, something like this comes along. And I think if I could just summarize this, it's good police work to be able to stop this type of drug dealing that obviously is way more serious than certainly marijuana was, or ever has been for that matter. To be able to stop this, that's quite an accomplishment. And boy, my hat is off to the drug detectives out of that precinct. They did a fantastic job. It's not always about the quantity of drugs, but sometimes it is. And it certainly is in this case.
Well, they talked about taking off 70 pounds of meth, 16 pounds of fentanyl powder. They estimate it was about $1.3 million worth of drugs, and they arrested 4 people. I guess share with us, do we even have an idea as to how much drugs is moving through or are moving through this region?
I don't think we really have a good idea what it is, a good estimate even of what it is. This is, as we said, this is a great drug bust, but it didn't solve the problem by any stretch of the imagination. They arrested 4 people. There's probably 400 out there that didn't get arrested that are still dealing drugs. So it's a constant battle that we need to keep fighting, doing everything we can to keep drugs from coming across the border from Mexico, not from Venezuela, from Mexico, to stop the drugs coming into this country, because people die from them. These are serious, heavy-duty drugs, worse than marijuana, worse than cocaine, worse than heroin. These drugs will kill you, and they will destroy your life. And as much as we can take those off and arrest these people, that's a good thing. But let's not get complacent and think, we've solved the problem. All done. Let's go do something else now.
You're listening to former King County Sheriff John Urquhart. We spend a lot of time talking about SPD, Seattle Police Department, and
that's fine. That was always fine with me.
And their difficulties in recruiting in the past, and now they're finding some success. But we haven't really talked about staffing in the King County Sheriff's Department. And has that department had any of the same kind of difficulties that Seattle has had?
Yes, but on a different scale. What I heard is the most we were down was about 120 deputies, 120 vacancies. When I left in 2018, we were actually 3 over our allotment. I kind of cheated there before I left, hired a couple extra. But of course, with everything that went on with the defund the police movement after George Floyd, people didn't want to be police officers anymore. So we had the same recruitment problems that Seattle police had. Theirs has gone on longer. It's gone deeper for whatever reason. They're starting to come back. Part of the problem, both for Seattle and for us, has been the lack of space in the State Police Academy. Well, that for the most part, that's gone away because now we have satellite academies in other places in the state of Washington that can fill that void and help, get more police officers trained up and on the streets, not just for the sheriff's office or SPD, but this is a problem really across the state of Washington.
How do you get more people interested in policing? It used to be, why would they want to do that? Because now you can get a job in high tech and this and get paid a whole lot more money, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there's a lot of things that are changing in the landscape when it comes to our economy right now. What kind of pitch would you make for people who are trying to think, what am I going to do with my career?
Well, the overall question is quit villainizing the police. They are not villains. 1 or 2 maybe, but the profession should not be villainized. And that's what happened. That's why we had such a trouble recruiting, and that's kind of gone away now. People are seeing the error of their ways. James Carville said the 3 stupidest words in the English language are defund the police.
I tend to agree.
I couldn't agree more. So we're getting away from that. But what we want and how we recruit better police officers is show them what the job is. The job is helping people. I would go in there and I would swear in 4, 5, or 6 new deputies every single month without fail. The full 5 years I was sheriff. And they would tell me they became a police officer because they wanted to help people. They wanted to make people's lives better. Some of them wanted to change the world, and I had to tell them, that ain't going to happen. But you can change an individual's world by the actions you take as a police officer. So the more we can do that, the better off we're going to be, the better off the community and society are going to be when we get those types of police officers. And that's the only kind we want. If you want to go join ICE, and I said that before, be my guest, because I don't want you as a local police officer. If you think, carrying those types of weapons, masking up, if you think that is what police work is, you're mistaken, and I don't want you. I don't want you anywhere near my community. I want officers that, they're going to take a little bit less pay than going to Microsoft or Facebook, but they're really going to be fulfilled as they go through their career. And it's a fantastic, wonderful career.
And like you said, now with the satellite training centers, you're seeing a lot of success with those.
But the one, when we had just one academy, they had room for 30 people a month for the entire state. And they allotted 5 to the sheriff's office, 5 positions, and 8 to the Seattle Police Department when I was there. So, do the math. That's not very many positions left for everybody else, and certainly not enough for us.
Former King County Sheriff John Urquhart, always appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. It sounds like you're going to have a big party.
Going to have a big party. My wife gave me my marching orders today. She goes to Met Market to pick up her turkey.
Oh! Hey, that sounds familiar.
She wanted me to tell you that. And we're going to have maple bars for dessert.
Oh, that sounds perfect to me.
It is. Thank
John,
you.
thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, question for all of you. I don't know if you saw this statistic in the Seattle Times, but in the Seattle area, marijuana is not just mainstream. It is more popular than every form of nicotine combined. That is according to the new Nielsen data that is highlighted by Gene Balk, the FYI guy at the Seattle Times. So, Paul, between 2021 and 2022, about 865,000 adults in our market, about 20% said they used cannabis in the past month. Now compare that to about 560,000 adults, or 13%, who smoked cigarettes or used e-cigs and vapes. That, if you do the math, is a 7-point spread in favor of weed, which is one of the widest gaps in the country, second only to Portland.
Oh,
no.
I was like, wait a minute. I was wondering.
Yeah. So what's interesting is who is using what. So it tends to be younger adults leaning toward both, but marijuana still wins out. 23% of those under 35 use cannabis versus 16% using nicotine products. Among 50 and older folks, cannabis still holds the edge. Education matters as well. Adults without a 4-year degree were far more likely to smoke or vape nicotine, while cannabis use cut across education levels more evenly. And all of this actually tracks with national trends. Cigarette use is not popular, or it's really continuing to see a decline. Cannabis use continues to go up, and perceptions about harm are evolving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this is it's an interesting to see these trends, because some of the stuff we've heard throughout the year that sales are down. I remember throughout this year they were saying sales are trending downwards here. I think one of the things that's kind of interesting is just the shift that people are going. Obviously, we've seen the shift from cigarettes and kind of the exception for marijuana. But I heard this interesting term. It was called California sober.
I've seen that too.
Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So basically, the concept is you don't do the alcohol, you don't do the hard drugs, but you smoke marijuana and sometimes maybe dabble in something like, mushrooms or something like that. And I don't know why, but that does seem to be something that people are a little bit more in. There's a weird thing where it's like, oh, I'm sober when I'm not drinking, but I'm still using marijuana. It's like,
right. It's not something that G brings up often. It's like we have such a negative, and I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not fully embracing the idea that we're legalizing marijuana everywhere.
Right.
I mean, I did grow up with that idea that it's not good and you don't want to use it and it's illegal. And so for me to see how it's so widely accepted anymore, when I was talking about my sleeping issues, do you know how many people lit up the text line and told me you really need to try
CBD,
an edible?
do this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have the option. I'm glad that it's not as stigmatized, but you got to remember, it's also, hey, it's still smoking something. Like, let's be honest here, and I don't know. It's just make the right conscious decision for you. But I'm. It's interesting. We'll actually be. We might have to talk about this a little bit. But I wonder if bad news. We were seeing vape pods were kind of, and Juuls were leading to an increase in youth use.
Yeah.
Now celebrities and stuff, we're seeing it more. Cigarettes and smoking kind of pop back up in pop culture. I wonder what influence that will have there. But I think people got to be worried about the issues and the impacts, but I think I'm glad to see we're getting more information about it.
We are getting more information, and the University of Washington just came out and said that a condition linked to long-term cannabis use, which is cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, has now been formally recognized as a medical diagnosis. And essentially, the World Health Organization added it to its official coding system last month, and it gives doctors a standardized way to flag cases of some of these horrible symptoms involving chronic use, which is vomiting, stomach pain, and nausea. And so
all the stuff you were using to help with, right? I mean, those symptoms kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly. But now, I mean, the treatment options are a little surprising. Hot showers, certain medications, and even capsaicin cream. All of those things shown to help. But like you said, I mean, it's like as it becomes more and more common, the stigma starts to go away. I'm still working on it.
Right. And I think that's really hard. I mean, it was such a big deal, right? And now when there's a shop down the corner, that's still weird. I mean, think about how many things people are still adjusted with changes that have happened either long ago or not that long ago.
Absolutely. Okay, still ahead, we do the Hell to the No segment, and you're going to have to listen to this because the Campbell's Soup VP made a shocking admission. That next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The John Curley Show.
Katie Wilson is putting her team, her powerhouse transition team together.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
Put everything in place and solve all the big problems that everybody expects to have solved when it comes to government. When I asked her if she's okay with being, the West Coast Mondani, she seemed to have no problem with it. And of course, Mondani, the new mayor of New York, has said that, there's no problem too small that the government can't solve, and the government cares so much. The government's going to care so much, and the government's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters, a show that covers everything having to do with your home. Tune in every Saturday from 2 to 3 on KIRO Newsradio, where you'll hear from local business owners who are experts in their industries. From foundation to flooring, roofing and windows, furniture, and financial planning, it's everything in and around your home, and we've got you covered on Home Matters. If it matters to you, it matters to us here at Home Matters. Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO Newsradio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Husky Nation, rivalry for a reason is on, and every dollar you donate counts as a vote against food insecurity. 100% helps families in need thanks to Northwest Harvest and Safeway. Let's outgive the Ducks. Go to dogsvsducks.org now.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. If your Thanksgiving travel is taking you over the mountain passes today, be prepared for snow. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Morgan Palmer says a winter weather advisory is in effect.
Up to 10 inches of snow. I think that is mainly going to be the case on the eastern slopes of the Cascades. But still, even if we get 3, 4, 5 inches through Snoqualmie Pass, that will cause problems.
Freezing rain is also possible near the pass. The winter weather advisory runs until 4 tomorrow morning. AAA predicts 73 million Americans will hit the road this holiday. 6 million Americans will travel by air, little more than a week after the FAA lifted flight restrictions due to the government shutdown. More from CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
It's as much a tradition as turkey and pumpkin pie, packed airports in the days before Thanksgiving. This year, the TSA expects to screen some 18 million people from today till next Tuesday, and officials promise they are ready for the crowds.
For us, this week is our Super Bowl, and I'm here to tell you we've got a great plan. We're past the lapse. Controllers are back at work. They're excited to be back on the job. They're excited to be compensated to be back on the job.
The travel chaos during the government shutdown is now in the rearview mirror.
Retailers are optimistic about the holidays, even though new numbers show sales were weaker than expected in September. CBS's Jason Brooks.
The Commerce Department released the long-delayed September retail sales report, showing a monthly gain of just 0.2%, weaker than the gains in previous months. And the gain was even weaker when factoring out auto and gas sales.
Stubborn inflation and a weakening job market is weighing on consumers. The Conference Board says its consumer confidence index dropped to 88.7 in November. That's down from 95.5 in October. Economist Gus Fauché.
So we're not in recession in November of 2025, but certainly this softness in consumer confidence suggests that we could see a recession at some point in the first half of next year.
Turkeys at the White House.
Today we continue a time-honored American tradition
Well, that's a well-trained turkey.
Or one that is very relieved. President Trump today pardoning turkeys Wobble and Waddle. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 556 points, NASDAQ ahead 103. KIRO News Radio traffic. In Seattle, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near South Spokane Street. You are backing up a little on the West Seattle Bridge to about 1st Avenue South. From the text line, hearing there is a crash on Front Street as you leave Issaquah heading south. Watch out for that. Overall, travel times are excellent. Everett to Seattle, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 21. Renton to Bellevue, 14. Tacoma to Olympia, 31. And your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain with highs in the mid-40s today. Be prepared for snow in the mountain passes. It is 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Just got a text from Gee who says, Coop was right. The checkpoint is fantastic at SEA. So if you are heading to the airport today, heading out for the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, at least for right now, it looks like smooth sailing at the airport. But it is time right now for us to do our extremely famous, world famous, I would say, Hell to the No segment.
All right, we start here with the Campbell Soup Company. I know people are probably thinking a lot about soup right now. I mean, the holidays. What feels better than a nice warm cup of soup? Of course, the Campbell Soup here. But there is some controversy here. A former Campbell's employee says he was fired after reporting a secretly recorded rant from a senior vice president. This is senior vice president with the executive Martin Bally, I think, mocked Campbell's customers, trashed the food, and even more. Let's listen in here.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at me, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
All right, so that Campbell says if the recording is real, the comments are unacceptable, and that the executive is now on leave. I mean, this is talk about a bombshell. I mean, one of the worst things that you could be caught on saying is our product is, I'm an executive of my company, my product is terrible, I don't use our product. This could be catastrophic.
Well, it's really bad, and in fact, one of our listeners, Mac from Bellevue, texted and said, are you going to talk about this Campbell story? Because it is a story that is picking up steam. As you said, as we're heading into the holidays, a lot of people doing soup. And essentially, this executive, Martin Bally, allegedly mocked Campbell's customers as, quote unquote, poor people.
Right.
It's hard because there's all those beeps in that audio, but this is only coming up because a lawsuit was filed in Michigan, which was filed by an employee who was fired. He was a cybersecurity analyst, and he claims that this executive made those remarks during a meeting last year. I'm going to defend Campbell Soup. Mm-hmm. Because it is inexpensive.
Right.
It is one of those things that you can still go to the grocery store and still get for relatively little money. Mm-hmm. And it can go a long way. And I'm going to say, as someone who is not a great chef, and maybe that is why I am still going to defend Campbell's Soups, but they're very versatile, and you can do a lot of things with them. So to heck with that VP. But yeah, Campbell's has a PR nightmare on its hands. And if that recording is real, the comments are devastating, and that dude's got to go.
Yeah, I think that's especially there too. I think that's, of course, the phrasing of who the audience is, but it is kind of eye-opening when you work for something like a food company and you say, I don't eat this. I'm not comfortable in what's being put in here. Now
you're too good to eat the food that your company puts out. Yeah, that's
and
pretty
it's just
awful.
and mixed with just like, okay, then why are you just saying, I'm too good for this? Why aren't you making strides? Why aren't you using your power to make changes?
Because there is a disconnect between the C-suite and the rest of us. Sometimes
I think that's probably it here. All right, let's go to our next one here.
To the no.
I'm not going to lie. Every time an AI story pops up, I do clutch my pearls a little bit. I hold my breath. As I like the advancements. I think it's the future, sure. But I get worried, and especially when I hear something like this. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and Johnny Ive, the legendary Apple designer behind the iPhone and the MacBook, say they're teaming up to build the next big thing in personal tech. It's not a phone. It's not a watch. They don't even know what it is yet. It's something simpler that uses AI so seamlessly you barely have to interact with it at all. They won't show it yet, and they can't really explain it, but here's their pitch.
As we were talking about, AI can do so much for you that so much can fall away, and the degree to which Johnny has chipped away at every little thing that this doesn't need to do or doesn't need to be in there is remarkable. I remember he said once early on, we'll know we have the design right when, I don't remember, he said you want to lick it or take a bite out of it or something like that. Yeah. And there was an earlier prototype that we were quite excited about, but I did not have any feeling of I want to pick up that thing and take a bite out of it. And then finally we got there all of a sudden.
So what exactly are we even talking about?
Yeah, right. I mean, are they saying, the design of the iPhone was so good, it looked like a chocolate bar, that it was so, we're going to want that? I don't want to put AI in I don't want to be eating AI anytime soon. You put a nanobot or something in my gut that's going to track my microbiomes or something down there. I'm good.
I think anytime you say AI and then bring up Sam Altman and now Joni Ive, they know it's clickbait. But I don't even know what we're talking about. The pitch is memorable for sure.
But they don't even know what it is. And they say the idea is a calm, minimalist AI companion, something that replaces the constant buzzing and tapping of our screens. So is that going to be a little droid that flies around, follows me around? And then you have something that's constantly watching you with you. Where do you come down on AI companionship? For me, I'm struggling with it.
I am worried about our future generation. Yeah. I am worried that they are replacing human touch, human companionship with a bot, and the idea that that might be a better relationship than a real relationship. Now, that all said, the last time we talked about this, there were some parents who texted in or shared with us that for their kids who may be on the spectrum or may have some kind of disabilities, this is a great option because they don't do well in social situations. Now, I would make exceptions for that, and that application sounds great. But when you're talking about people who are not dealing with those challenges, choosing something that is not real, what are we doing?
Yeah, and how do you build on, how do you create relationships after that if you're so impacted by that? And you only know how to have that relationship with an AI who probably enables you more often than not. It's tough, but like you said, though, there are exceptions to everything, and there are ways for it to be a positive tool. I just don't need these big tech guys letting me eat. I know it was the joke, but the last thing I want to be doing is eating an AI or something where they can get something in my body, which is crazy.
Right, which of course is going to be just around the corner.
Right.
Okay, still ahead, we do scenarios. This is the Gee and Ursula Show with Paul Holden.
The Seahawks got it done on the road.
Gonna let it fly. Got a man, JSN. Makes the catch.
Bouncing back.
For a touchdown, Seahawks.
We always just put the mission over anything else, no matter what it is, man. We try to get that W.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, holy catfish.
Happy for JSN. He's doing an incredible job. Brings it every day.
But every opportunity he has to make a play, he's doing that.
It's just hard to guard him, bro. He's just so efficient at what he do.
Where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83 or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com. The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's here, the Light the World giving machines at the Alderwood and South Hill malls. With a swipe of your credit card, donate a chicken, school supplies, meals, and more. Go to givingmachinewa.org.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Paul Holden is in for Chef, and it is time for us to do scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I think we can all relate to this, at least in the spiritual sense here. Hey, all, I'm taking this to my grave, but I need to know if I'm evil. I'm hosting Thanksgiving for my in-laws for the first time. They are very critical people. This morning, I was transferring the 20-pound turkey from the brine bucket to the roasting pan. My hands were slippery. I dropped it. It didn't just hit the kitchen floor. It bounced, rolled into the laundry room, and landed directly next to the cat's litter box. There was definitely litter debris on the skin. I panicked.
Debris?
Yes, litter debris. Litter, how much? I don't know. It's not specified. I panicked. I didn't have time to thaw a new one, so I took it right to the sink, scrubbed it with hot water and lemon juice, and put it in the oven. My logic is that 400 degrees kills everything, right? My husband saw me do it. He refuses to eat it. He wants me to order KFC and pretend I cooked it. Do I serve the litter box turkey and pray? Or do I confess and humiliate myself forever? Ursula?
The cat is out of the bag already. Even if you don't confess to your new in-laws, your husband is going to, because he's already refusing to eat. And then you're going to have to admit that, yes, there was cat litter debris, and you cooked it anyway, and you were trying to serve it to your very picky in-laws. I say chalk it up to a Thanksgiving disaster that is going to go down. It's going to be part of family lore. And you can say that, yep, I screwed up the first turkey ever, and I now have to go get Kentucky Fried Chicken. Even though my husband wants me to lie about it, I'm going to own it. I messed up, and we've got KFC, and I hope you enjoy it, because it's going to be a lot juicier than the turkey would have been.
and I think that's it. Hand up, my bad, right? And hey, you could probably, if you've already went through all this work of recooking and everything, repurpose that turkey for something else. Don't just toss it either, Yeah. Make a stew, make a soup or something out of it. You've already got a whole cooked bird. But I think this is one where better safe than sorry. Why? Especially because you nailed it. Your husband's going to say something.
Sure.
I'm a husband. I mean, even if it's just let me get that one little playful jab and a fun thing after maybe a glass or two of wine at the dinner table, this is going to come out. Now it's going to be the shock. And then next year you get to laugh about it because but you are going to be setting yourself up for a lifetime of, hey, did this one make it by the kid? Did we skip the kitty litter on this one?
Well, if I'm going to be truthful, I have yet to ever. I am 60 years old, and I have yet to ever make a turkey on my own.
Doing it for the first time this year. I'm doing it first time solo this year. I got a spatchcocked turkey.
Wow.
Now I'm really hoping I don't drop it out of the brine and onto the floor. I don't have a cat, but I got a dog. So I would say similar things here.
Nick.
Well, they don't call them Butterfingers for nothing, so that's a deed you can't take back. But to now dig it out of the kitty litter grave, thinking you can baptize the bird, thinking the debris will be washed away and the guests will forgive all the wrongdoings of dropping the bag, or the bird in this case. Maybe no one saw it, you could get away with it, but you're so exposed, and the other birds, they won't want to be digging into that little turkey thing of yours. Just like you said, wrap it up as a Thanksgiving disaster. Even a fry, boil, or bake isn't going to, change their mind. So just get some KFC and just wrap this thing up.
It'd be such a big red flag if your husband's like, I ain't touching the turkey at Thanksgiving. There's no way.
Someone else said, don't get KFC. Just go grab a couple rotisserie chickens from Costco. It's so funny. The times that we haven't had turkey, I remember when my mom was still alive, she loved it when we had something other than turkey because she always thought the turkey was too dry.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're able to get all the dark meat.
Right.
She was like, it's too dry. She always loved it when we had something other than turkey.
Yeah, and that's what we've done for our Thanksgiving. I don't go home, so I do a lot of stuff with my friends, so we kind of like to do it. But my wife was like, hey, I actually really like Thanksgiving stuff. Can we do traditional Thanksgiving? I was like, all right, it's time for me to try out the bird here.
Well, I want you to share a personal story, and let's do this as a double scenario, double dose of scenario. So you had your own scenario.
I did. Basically, my question for you all, is it ever a good idea to tell your wife that it's too expensive to fly home for the holidays? And I learned the answer to that question is often no. I have not visited my in-laws yet for really any holiday.
Ever?
Yeah. I've been with my wife. We've been married for a little over a year, together for about 8. 2.5 years of long distance. And I like to put the context of the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm often working here. like when I started here, like I'm often filling in and doing stuff.
You do work so a lot of holidays.
Yes. But this year it's panning out where that's not the case. And I was like, I'd love to go. And then I looked at the cost of flights. And then I looked at some of the stops and the multiple things. And I was like,
this is the worst weekend.
Literally, I'm flying the 23rd through the 27th.
Oh.
You can't pick a much worse, time to fly. And our family is past, it's Ohio is the closest place we fly. So, but basically, long story short, after a good discussion, I learned that telling your wife that traveling to see the in-laws, who you haven't really spent a lot of time with, especially during the holidays,
I'm going to give you some grief, though. I'm sorry, but 8 years you guys have been together.
Hey.
And then you tried to duck out of this one?
Yep. And that's why I had that moment where after having the spirited conversation with my wife, I slept on it and I was like, I'm in the wrong on this one. I need...
See, now, because this is still a relatively new marriage.
Yep, not even 2 years.
Yeah, it's not even been 2 years. I think you've done the right thing. Good job. Bravo to you to be able to acknowledge, you know what, I wasn't right on this one.
Yeah, and I was like, well, this is a weird hill to die on.
Not a good one.
And it's not like I have anything to be like, oh, the classic, my in-laws, roll your eyes type of thing.
Yes.
It's like, the times I have been around my in-laws, they've been great. And it's a big Italian Christmas, which is going to be tons of great food. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay, still ahead, we have a listener who is going to share her story with this new medical diagnosis. This is a condition that is linked to long-term marijuana use. And one of our listeners is going to join us after CBS News and Heather's newscast because she has been through living you-know-what, and she wants to share her cautionary tale. So we'll have more on that on the Gee and Ursula Show right after this.
The Seahawks got it done on the road.
Gonna let it fly. Got a man, JSN. Makes the catch.
Bouncing back.
For a touchdown, Seahawks.
We always just put the mission over anything else, no matter what it is, man. We try to get that W.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. Holy catfish.
Happy for JSN. He's doing an incredible job. Brings it every day.
But every opportunity he has to make a play, he's doing that.
It's just hard to guard him, bro. He's just so efficient at what he do.
Where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hurry, time's running out. Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online or in-store.
When I asked Scott Lucky if his last name had anything to do with his success in the trucking industry, he laughed and said, well, Mike, I guess you could say I've always been lucky. But when I asked him how he and his family grew Lucky Distribution Services into the company it is today, he didn't talk about luck at all. We work hard, he said. We keep a close eye on the bottom line, and we treat our people the right way. In other words, Scott Lucky makes his own luck, which is precisely why he switched to Pure Talk Business. Last month, I paid the big guys $740 for 12 lines, he told me. This month, I paid Pure Talk $420 for the exact same service. Thousands of businesses all over the country are saving real money by switching to America's most dependable 5G network, and luck has nothing to do with it. Just dial pound 250 and say micro. That's pound 250 micro to switch to a wireless company that works as hard as you do. Pure Talk.
Adventure smarter with the 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid, available now at Carter Subaru, Seattle's only Subaru dealership. Get all-wheel drive with financing from just 3.9%. And during the Share the Love event, Subaru donates $250 for every new Subaru to one of 6 charities, including hometown favorite Treehouse. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized costs. See dealer for details. Valid through 11/30/25.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The White House is expressing optimism about a deal to end the war in Ukraine despite some remaining issues. CBS's Weijia Jiang reports talks are continuing in Abu Dhabi with the Russians after the original plan was modified in some manner to bring the Ukrainians on board.
The critical piece of this is how the Russians will respond and whether they will be amenable, because when it comes to the substance of this peace plan, we don't know how it has evolved, how it has changed, what has been taken out, and an administration official stresses that, it's still ongoing. So all of that is fluid. All that to say that at this point, it seems like they are close to a done deal.
Michael O'Hanlon at the Brookings Institution on some of the finer points.
This current 19-point plan, the result of U.S.-Ukrainian negotiations, does look much better. For example, it doesn't seem to place restrictions on Ukraine's military. Under the Russian plan, or the 28-point plan, there would have been restrictions on Ukraine but not on Russia, which is an absurd way to build a stable peace.
Israel says it's received human remains that Hamas handed over to the Red Cross. It's not immediately clear if they are one of the 3 hostages remaining in Gaza. Millions of Americans are in the midst of a holiday getaway. Reporter Trevor Sohaki in Dallas.
Today and tomorrow are expected to be some of the busiest days on the roads during this entire travel period, and really during the entire year. And Sunday is expected to be a busy return day as well.
President Trump has officially pardoned 2 Thanksgiving turkeys.
Gobble, I just want to tell you this very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned.
Gobble's buddy Waddle missed the ceremony. Concern is growing over contaminated infant formula, as Peter King reports.
The manufacturers of By Heart infant formula say tests show that the company's products may have been contaminated, leading to a botulism outbreak that has sickened at least 31 infants in 15 states since August. Health officials say there have been related illnesses going back to last November. The FDA says parents and caregivers should stop feeding By Heart to babies and watch for possible symptoms of the illness, which can take up to 30 days to appear.
U.S. consumers were much less confident in the economy this month in the aftermath of the government shutdown, and with inflation still stubborn, consumer confidence dropped to its second lowest reading since April. On Wall Street today, stocks are surging ahead of the holiday. The Nasdaq is up 96, the Dow higher by 546. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
BP finds the leak affecting the fuel supply to aircraft at SeaTac. The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Seattle, a crash still blocking 2 lanes on I-5 northbound near South Spokane Street. You're backing up a little bit on the West Seattle Bridge. Overall, your travel times are great. Everett to Seattle, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 21. Renton to Bellevue, 14. Tacoma to Olympia, 31. And your lake bridges are clear. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. TSA is predicting 18 million passengers will travel during the Thanksgiving holiday. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports 73 million will hit the highways.
Smooth sailing for now, but travelers like Cody not looking forward to Sunday, the projected busiest travel day this holiday at SeaTac.
The best thing is visiting family and friends.
900,000 travelers are expected through SeaTac this week. For drivers, a record number on the roads. I-5 North from Seattle to Bellingham will be the most congested highway in the state this week. At SeaTac, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Olympic pipeline crews have found the leak affecting the fuel supply for aircraft at SeaTac. British Petroleum, which operates the pipeline, tells KIRO 7 TV that testing confirms a leak in its 20-inch diameter pipeline near Everett. A nearby 16-inch line is not affected. The company's now developing a repair plan. We're hearing from the 33-year-old dirt biker who fell 200 feet off a cliff near Mount Rainier while taking a photo on Friday. Anthony Harris tells KIRO 7 TV he took one wrong step and the ground disappeared.
Within a moment's notice, I was flying down this cliff. I had no way to grab anything. There was nothing to brace onto, so I was just going down.
Rescue crews say it took 3 hours before he could be airlifted from the scene. He suffered fractures in his face and spent a few days in a hospital. A man accused of throwing a piece of concrete at an SUV in Tacoma Saturday faced a judge. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke to the family of a passenger in the vehicle who was seriously injured.
And they tell me that this man's injuries are so bad that he may lose an eye. And we've been told by Washington State Patrol it was off of I-705 southbound. Piece of concrete is about the size of a basketball, maybe bigger, which is no surprise just how much damage this did to the car and the injuries this man suffered.
The suspect faces attempted murder and assault charges. King County deputies and SeaTac police are investigating a deadly shooting near Angle Lake last night. Officers tell the Seattle Times they found a victim while responding to calls about gunfire in the 32,000 block of South 198th Street. No word on arrests. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today with highs in the mid-40s. Be prepared for snow in the mountain passes. It's 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. I want to tell you that he has made it through SeaTac Airport, and he was so thrilled with how smooth it was. He actually sent an email that I saw, and there was a great email exchange between him and Perry Cooper, who often joins our show and has to defend SEA because of Gee's rants about how bad it is over there. But Gee said it was complete smooth sailing. If you are heading to the airport today or anytime this holiday weekend, I hope it is great for you as well. I'm Ursula. Again, Gee's not here, but Paul Holden is here. Thank you so much for stepping in for Chef, who had to leave this morning. And coming up at 11:30, we will do Agree to Disagree. And I see one of the things that we'll be talking about is taking a week break from social media. There is a study that says there's some great benefits, and I guess the question for all of you is, could you do it? Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
A condition linked to long-term marijuana use has now been formally recognized as a medical diagnosis. This is something I mentioned in the last hour. The World Health Organization has now added cannabis hyperemesis syndrome to its official coding system, and now that gives doctors a standardized way to flag cases when a patient is dealing with severe vomiting and stomach pain and nausea that is tied to chronic use of cannabis. And right after we mentioned this in our last hour of the show, one of our most loyal listeners, Emily, texted us and told us that she has been dealing with this condition. And I was hoping that she could join us, and she is right now. Good morning.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, thank you. Well, more importantly, how are you feeling? This is something that you have been dealing with, and it sounds like it's been going on for the last couple of months.
Yes, actually, sadly, it has been almost 3 years now of this is when it all began. So in March of 2023, I was having this persistent vomiting, and I usually am not one to go to the hospital easily, but I was like, oh, we got to go. And so when I went, they found I had gallbladder stones. And so it was like, okay, sweet. All right, I'll get my gallbladder out. I got my gallbladder out. And then after I got it out, I was still vomiting for up to a month. And then so I went to Swedish and was admitted for almost a week. And there they did like every test under the sun. The only thing they found was I had like acid reflux due to like a hiatal hernia. But otherwise, yeah, they diagnosed me with this cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. And it basically, yeah, like you said, from chronic use of marijuana leads to this persistent nausea and vomiting. And yes, it has been not fun. And my most recent episode was a few months ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you had been told that you had this syndrome. Had you ever heard of it before?
No. And that's the thing is people often will continue using the weed because it typically helps with nausea and vomiting, right? And so what happens is you get into this cycle of you're trying to feel better, and so you keep using it more.
How did they get to how did they pinpoint that? How did they come to this conclusion? Was it, did you just say I'm a former, or I'm a cannabis user, and that's what they pointed to? How did they come to this determination?
They basically were, during all the diagnosing, investigated, and they asked about my use. And I think because I'm lucky to live in Washington, they were more aware of this, because I know from people in other states where either weed's not legal or there isn't a lot of knowledge on it, that they don't get properly diagnosed because there's not an awareness. But like I said, I think because I'm in Washington, they were like aware of it already.
And so now that you heard that the World Health Organization is adding it to its coding system and it is now formally recognized as a medical diagnosis, what is your reaction to that?
Oh, I'm so relieved because, like I said, I have been desperate and dying for there to be more just in general awareness on this, because that's the thing. Without being properly diagnosed, there's not going to be any clinical studies. There's not going to be any research. And then if there's not enough research, there's not going to be better cures. Because right now, like I said, the only cure is to stop smoking, which, like, if you have cannabis use disorder, is not easy to just do. And then, like you had mentioned, like the hot showers, nausea medication. They had even given me capsaicin cream, which is basically what makes peppers hot, because they found that the heat on your stomach can help relieve you the symptoms. But even with all those treatments, they barely helped. They barely made a dent in my nausea and vomiting.
What do you wish more people understood about this particular diagnosis? Because, you know, we were just talking about how there's still somewhat of a stigma attached to cannabis use or marijuana use, although it is going away as more and more states legalize it.
Yes, that's something I've definitely dealt with because, like I said, it's like caused by using the weed. So, like, I've personally had so much guilt and shame around that because anytime I've had an episode or I've used weed again and I do end up getting sick, I feel so bad because I'm like, wow, I'm doing this to myself. Like, why can't I stop? But that's the reality is, like, cannabis use disorder is just like any other drug addiction, because I think marijuana is always touted as like not being addictive, right? It's like, it's not like heroin or other more serious drugs, but it can be just as hard to stop. And yeah, I wish people too understood how serious this disorder is. It's like, because it's not just, I say like nausea and vomiting, but I'm talking like relentless, constant puking, like every hour on the hour. I can't keep liquids down. I don't eat food for like a month at a time. Usually I end up losing like 30 pounds in a month.
Wow.
And then by the end of this too, I'm so weak trying to get walking again and stuff, even like the muscles in my legs, because I'm just completely bedridden for the entire time. So I think even some of my own family and friends like don't understand how serious it is, because even the most recent time when I was in the ER, my magnesium was basically almost like 0. And some of my friends were like, why is your magnesium low? And I was like, because I haven't eaten in a month because I haven't, you know what I mean? Like I've been sitting here dying. And so, yeah, I think even like some of my family friends like don't get how intense it is. There's even, they call it scromiting for scream vomiting, because you're basically just dry heaving and gagging so violently that like it sounds like you're screaming.
Oh no.
And so, yeah, I just wish people understood like how intense and awful it is.
This is Emily, one of our loyal listeners, sharing with us her situation now that she has been diagnosed with cannabis hyperemesis syndrome. And if you're comfortable sharing with us, Emily, what helps you feel hopeful moving forward? Because this sounds absolutely miserable.
I was going to say not a lot, but I will say the news today gave me like a new wind of hope, because like I said, that's where like things can get going and get started if like people start doing some more research and like clinical studies and stuff. But yes, it's pretty grim because like I said, like you end up dependent on this drug for like a reason, and then you're supposed to just completely cut it out of your life. And so, yes, it's very difficult to manage like, oh, wow, this thing, like my therapist said, like this thing has given you so much comfort and relief over the years, and then it becomes the thing that is causing your problems. And so, yeah, it's like very hard to handle.
Emily, we thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing, and I'm sure that you have helped some people as they listen to this too. Thank you again, and I hope you find some relief soon. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You know, one of the things that I kind of am surprised by, you know, hearing about that and hearing about the symptoms and hearing about what it's causing, stomach. You know, when you hear about smoking and when you hear about, you know, marijuana and stuff, you're thinking lungs, you're thinking chest, you're thinking, you know, coughing, that type of stuff. I'm very surprised to hear about the impacting the diet, the stomach, and the vomiting. That's something that, when you think marijuana, vomiting isn't something that'd be like, oh, that's what someone who's had too much to drink has had.
Well, and as she said, it's the thing that helped her is now hurting her.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess cautionary tale, you know, something to be more aware of, because as she said, a lot of people say it's not addictive, but in a case like this, chronic use can, in some people, have some very harmful effects.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this lawsuit out of Tacoma? It is involving Tesla's safety design, and it's a heartbreaking story. Jeffrey and Wendy Dennis were out running errands last January when their Model 3 suddenly accelerated out of control for several seconds, slammed into a utility pole, and then burst into flames. And according to the complaint, the car's automatic emergency braking system never kicked in. So once the battery shut down, witnesses couldn't open the doors. They were desperately trying to open the doors from the outside, but they couldn't. Some even tried breaking the windows, but the fire was spreading too quickly, and Wendy ended up dying at the scene. Jeffrey survived, but he had severe burns. And their lawsuit now argues that Tesla used an unnecessarily volatile battery chemistry, ignored repeated reports of sudden acceleration, and designed doors that trap people when the power cuts out. And they say Tesla knew all of this and kept selling the cars anyway. Tesla obviously denies this, but there is this lawsuit now underway. And it, I guess, forces a bigger question. And Gee has shared that he drives a Tesla. And I have been in a Tesla a few times, and I will tell you, that sometimes there's just so many newfangled things, and I'm going to sound very old, but sometimes it's like, why is it so hard to just even get into the car?
No, I think you're absolutely right in that situation. When you're talking about stuff like a Tesla here, where a lot of the stuff that they've advertised, especially, is here's our big dash monitor. You can have the internet. You can play games. You can do these things. This is the scary stuff of going too high tech when we get away from, hey, you need to have a fail-safe. You need to have, if you got all this electric, it's battery, there needs to be a fail-safe thing that you can't have doors that aren't opening. That just can't happen, especially in a situation here where we're not talking about the car, the doors are impacted here in the collision and they're crumpled and they're damaged from opening. This is the battery, the electricity, an automatic lock locking you in and failing to get there, mixed with these windows that they've advertised are supposed to be super strong, super tough. This is just goes to me where you have to have a safety fail-safe. No matter, there needs to be a manual. Why is on the airplane when you need to open the door, it's a lever that you pull and the door shoots out in a case of emergency or whatever, and then you can slide down. You can't forget these small analog things that are a lever, something that you can engage with mechanically in the vehicle to keep you safe. Because there's an argument here that if they could open the doors, that someone could have survived. Maybe not, they wouldn't have gone, not uninjured, but survived, and that's huge. I think this is one of those, it's going to be probably a very tough lawsuit for them to figure out, in the court of law, what they did and didn't know. But this is something I think as we've been talking AI, we're talking digital, we're talking all this change. You can't substitute when it comes to safety something like an actual physical fail-safe that shuts everything off and lets you do things manually. Just like
keep it basic.
Right. Because you talk about Gee's Tesla. I remember I took a ride in it, and one of the first times I've ever been in a Tesla. I'm like, I can see through the roof. There's a huge monitor here. There's all this stuff, but in reality, I just want to drive. And that happens to me every time I get in a rental car.
One of our listeners just texted in, and I know he is an expert because he works on cars. And he says car manufacturers are, no exaggeration, running out of ideas. So now they're trying to reinvent everything but the wheel. All gimmicks, all unnecessary, and often not even desirable to most consumers. He says, I drive a 2017 now, and I'm holding on to this as long as I possibly can. I have a 2016, and I'm good.
I just upgraded. I got a new car about a year or so ago, used car, I should say, but a new car for our family. And that was, do I want to go with the new? How new do I want to go? And there was only one thing I was looking for. Got to have a backup camera. That's the one, like the major thing. I was like, that's my tech thing. I don't need a bunch of this other stuff, but it's got to have the backup camera.
Improvement.
And is it not? I will say, maybe this is a crazy hot take. I think the backup camera is one of the most important automobile developments ever.
I agree.
I'm so much more confident.
When you get into a car that doesn't have one, it's like, I feel blind.
Right. It's like I'm like, because I used to, who really likes to parallel park? I know there's a few people out there that do like to parallel park, but it's so nice when I can see I got this thing. Now if I have to parallel park with no camera, I might go around the block to see if I can find another spot.
That's funny. Okay, I want to squeeze one more in. And Nick, I want to ask you also if you've heard of this whole buy nothing movement, because apparently it's a real big thing with people of your guys' generation, and it is rewriting the rules of the holiday season. So this buy nothing movement began on Bainbridge Island as a hyper-local gift economy. It has grown into a global community of more than 7 million people who trade, share, or simply skip the spending frenzy altogether. And this year, there is an even bigger shift because a new report shows that Gen Z's holiday spending is down more than 20% from last year. Younger shoppers are the ones who are driving what could be the first meaningful drop in U.S. holiday spending in over a decade. But again, this is not just about inflation or budgeting. It is about burnout. It is about people worried about sustainability. And I even saw it on the text line today. Someone said, we don't need all these things. Stop buying stuff. What do you think about this whole idea of buy nothing? I mean, I'm part of a buy nothing group, which I love, and I love the concept of that. And I know that's the thing that was started in Bainbridge Island. But I've seen a lot of younger people on social media sharing that, hey, they're just going to try to not buy anything for the next year.
Yeah, I mean, good luck, I think is really going to be the thing that I say. While I don't think it's not my only love language, I love giving gifts during the holidays. I am a gift guy. But I balance that by, I don't go too crazy with buying stuff throughout the year. Even myself, I mean, I'm still wearing some shirts from high school in certain instances, but I think that this time of year, instead of, you don't have to live in these crazy extremes of, I got to do everything, go super crazy. It's the holidays, got to buy everything, do everything in this, or it's the holidays. I'm going to protest and say this stuff. But
what do you think, Nick? What's your strategy going into the holiday season?
I think the priorities are just like different for young people these days, where it's like it's not about how much you spend, but rather like the time spent with others and like the, I guess the thought that's put into the gift rather than the price tag that you put into it, And I think with younger people too, there's families now, and I guess maybe I'm biased with my own. I feel like there's parents that are saying, don't buy anything big for me. I don't want you spending too much on me because I know, the economy right now and inflation. So I know that if you're going to go spend big on me, that means you're spending a lot on others. So that means I want, I think families are trying to get younger people into the habit of maybe spending less now because they realize how expensive everything is.
Yeah.
It really is true. The thought that counts.
It really is.
It's like if you put a thoughtful gift, that your money.
It's true. And I still love the handwritten card the best. Okay, still ahead, we're going to talk about, could you do a week without social media? Because there's a new study that says there are a lot of benefits to that. We'll have more on that coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. Wishing you and yours a happy Thanksgiving from KIRO Newsradio and the John Curley Show.
I'll share with you the Curley tradition, which is that we all go around the table and say the one thing we are grateful for. I think it gives everybody an opportunity to learn from each other and to reflect on the year. And my only advice to everyone is don't be the last to go, because there's a pretty good chance someone's going to steal your line. Go second or third. Happy Thanksgiving.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. Black Friday frenzy is here. Unwrap huge holiday savings on saltwater hot tubs, saunas, and swim spas, plus amazing prices on floor models. Selected hot tubs include the Freshwater IQ salt system. Your tub now tests your water for you and adds water care products with a simple push of a button. Amazing! Savings end November 30th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
This weekend only, the magic of the season comes alive at Mary Bridge Children's Festival of Trees.
the University of Puget Sound Tennis Pavilion transforms into a sparkling winter wonderland. Snap a photo with Santa, shop for unique holiday gifts, and marvel at more than 25 beautifully decorated trees. Bring a teddy bear, Play-Doh, or a Matchbox card to brighten a child's hospital stay. Don't miss the holiday tradition that gives back. This weekend only. Visit festivalofTreesTacoma.org.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Eric Butler here, General Manager at Kia of Everett, your simple, easy, fun dealership. If your daily drive needs a winter upgrade, we got you. Our entire Kia lineup is packed with all-weather performance, safety features, and fuel efficiency that will make commuting simple, easy, and fun. From the K4 to the Telluride to the EV9, choose what fits your lifestyle and come down and test drive it. With amazing pricing and financing, now is the time to buy at Kia of Everett.
The best drive you'll ever take is to Kia of Everett. Simple, easy, fun.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Your new home is ready now. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new construction communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington, with more coming. Find your new home at drhorton.com. America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for the more than 6,000 youth and young adults in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. If your Thanksgiving travel takes you over the mountains, be aware there is a weather advisory in effect. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Morgan Palmer says be ready for snow in the passes.
Up to 10 inches of snow through the passes. I think about 6 to 10 is a good range for Stevens and Snoqualmie passes. And then it could turn to freezing rain for a brief time before precipitation ends.
Millions of Americans are driving to their Thanksgiving destinations, and millions are flying, as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
900,000 travelers are expected through SeaTac here this holiday week. Lasana is on her way to Cleveland to be with her family.
Just the excitement of getting to your destination and being able to meet with family and celebrate.
If you're hitting the road, you won't be alone. AAA expects 73 million Americans to drive this Thanksgiving, more than last year. The best time to hit the road is before 11 a.m. tomorrow to avoid the worst backups. At SeaTac, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Consumers may be ready for a holiday, but new numbers show they are not very confident about the economy. CBS's Jason Brooks.
The combination of weakening job prospects and persistently high prices sank the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index for November, dropping to a reading of 88.7 from 95.5 in October, well below market estimates and the second lowest level since April.
Overseas, there's word Ukraine is agreeing in principle to a peace plan brokered with the help of the U.S. But if Russia is demanding to keep the land it seized in the war it started 4 years ago, Eurasia expert Michael Bashkiw points out
anything that involves ceding territory needs to be approved by the Ukrainian parliament. We know how they're going to vote. They're going to vote against it.
Ukraine's president could visit the U.S. by the end of the month. In the Middle East, a Pope mobile has been repurposed.
The late Pope Francis visiting Bethlehem more than a decade ago. Now, the converted Mitsubishi pickup donated for that visit by the Palestinian Authority has been transformed into a mobile pediatric clinic bound for Gaza. Cardinal Anders Arborelius of Stockholm.
This vehicle stands as a testament. The world has not forgotten the children of Gaza.
The initiative was blessed by Francis himself before he died last April. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 579 points. NASDAQ ahead 46. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Heather. Seattle Sports has our update. We're rounding out the morning with a wide open commute for the most part, aside from just a couple little hiccups, including SeaTac Airport. That expressway right now is jam-packed, actually beginning at the off-ramp from westbound 518 all the way down to the terminals. You want to give yourself a good 15 extra minutes to make your way through this. And then, of course, we have that new norm back up northbound 167 at the Pacific Bridge Work Zone, adding about 10 minutes to your commute. Checking out the passes, Stevens Pass has a few inches of snow on the road, so traction tires are advised right now. Oversized vehicles prohibited. Snoqualmie Pass has a rain-snow mix, but the pavement right now is bare, no restrictions. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Rain today with highs in the mid-40s. Be prepared for snow with those mountain passes. It is 45 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. It is already 11:34. We are rounding out the third hour of our show today. Gee is out and Paul Holden is in. It is time for us to do our Agree to Disagree segment, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
We start with a simple question, Ursula, but I think you and I might have some struggles with this one. But let me set the stage here. This is from the New York Times and the journal JAMA Network Open. Researchers followed 295 volunteers ages 18 to 24 who opted to take a break from social media for as much as possible for a week. Overall, they reported positive changes. On average, symptoms of anxiety dropped by 16%, symptoms of depression by 24%, and symptoms of insomnia by 14.5%. At the same time, no change in reported loneliness, because I think that's something a lot of people focus on. But Ursula, it's a simple question for you. Could you take a break from social media for a week?
If I had a gun to my head, yes. If it was a matter of life or death, yes. But right now, it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult for a number of reasons. One, our job. We are not only required to be involved with social media, but to stay on top of everything. I mean, that is one of the sources of information, many sources of information that we use to bring content to our show. Mm-hmm. So it would be impossible. But do I look forward to the day when I don't actually have to be tied to my phone and tied to social media and having this constant cycle and loop that I go through every single day of all the different apps? I look forward to that so much.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge with us when we answer this question is how would we do our jobs without it? And obviously, you can go through your traditional avenues of just looking at, but doesn't it all feel like social media? Like even when you're just on, a news website or whatever, you're still getting the comments, or you're watching a video on YouTube that might come from a news organization, but then you get yourself wrapped up in the comments. Just personally speaking, I can't wait till I can delete Twitter, but I'm not at a spot where I can because
I have done that. That one I can't do.
It's horrible.
Yeah, X I cannot do.
I think the experience has declined. And this is, there's a million different reasons, but it's just
it's
more often than not, it's vile.
Wasteland.
Yeah, and it's who's actually a real person telling me these things? Is this actually real information? And everyone, there was the whole thing. Oh, well, go join Blue Sky, go join Threads, go join this. I'm like, do I really want to sign my? I don't know if I need to reintegrate myself into these things. And now, again, for work, maybe we're missing some stuff, but I don't know.
Nick, what about you? How tied to social media are you?
I try and stay away from it as much as I can, but I'm guilty as much as another young guy is like surfing around there. But I don't produce content like when I was like in like middle school. Like I think the furthest I went was my buddies would like make little funny YouTube videos and we'd like post them. But like I don't get as involved as I used to when I was younger when it comes to posting, but I feel like it's just very consuming and it takes a lot of your time, and you can go into rabbit holes where you don't want to in terms of like, running into things that are just like put in front of you that you don't really want to see kind of thing. So it's kind of like a balance of like wanting to stay mentally healthy versus like being curious about what other people are posting and like what's out there in terms of what you're interested in.
It is so true. And I know that I'm supposed to dislike TikTok, and I look forward to whatever is going to happen so that we don't have to worry about any kind of Chinese influence and any worry about what our information is being, not that we'll never be able to worry, but I'm going to say that is the platform that I enjoy the most. Mm-hmm. And part of it is because I don't look at news content there, really. I really look at all the things that interest me. Right.
And that's what's so frustrating about social media is you're not really able to follow and find the things you like because, man, my stuff, I followed the Denver Nuggets on Instagram when they won the championship a couple of years ago. Yeah. I get 30, all the posts. It's like, you love the Nuggets. And it's just like, I like them, but I don't like it as much. I miss when I could actually see what my friends are. I want to see the picture. Yes. Like I used to really like Instagram because it was nice to see the photos because it was like Facebook, you got all that other stuff. But then Instagram is just like, here's a photo, here's what I'm doing, and here's my little story. I'm like, great, now I got my little update. And now it's just, I got ads, I got recommended stuff. I don't even see anything that I actually want to see anymore.
Yeah, the Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page is my favorite page, and I know that's very self-serving to say, but it's also because we spend time in there and we mix it up with the people who post, and so it's civil and it's a genuinely positive experience. But so much of it can get so toxic, and that's why I've just said absolutely no. I deleted X from my app options.
Yeah, it's the world of sports. That it still seems to help there, but one day we'll get there. All right, I want to talk about things at restaurants that make you say, no way, no shot. And this was a post on Reddit here highlighting loud restaurants. About they were going on their Apple Watch here. They didn't name any restaurants or anything like that, but saying they've been to a few restaurants where it's very, very loud loud enough where they can't even talk. On the Apple Watch here showing around 80 to 85 decibels there, when you're talking about that. So, Ursula, how much of a turnoff are loud restaurants, and what are your things what are the restaurant things that are very important for you? How important is atmosphere for you when it comes to a restaurant?
I mean, the number one thing is food for sure, but I am someone who does still spend time in a restaurant, so atmosphere is very important. And more often than not, I am meeting with a friend. We have regular girlfriend outings to restaurants, and if it gets so loud that you can't hear each other anymore, that is not something that I would look. I mean, so that's almost as important as the food.
Yeah, I think you have to be. I mean, that's part of the it's the meeting spot, right? You're when you're sitting there and dining there. My big thing is extra loud. I mean, and this is obviously part of it. Why do we have to have such loud music?
Yeah,
sometimes?
What's the deal with that?
I don't know why it has to be like...
The tables are loud enough, and people talking are loud enough.
And then if you're by the kitchen, you got the doors, you got the clanging, you got the whatever you're going to be seeing there. But then we got to have, Chapel Roan blasting over the speakers there, and it's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it's like, I'm just trying to have my late lunch here. I've never understood, but do you go to a place like to really soak in? Is there like a place that you have that just atmosphere kind of pairs well with the food?
You guys are going to laugh, but it is the number one meeting spot for my girlfriends and I. And it's either going to be Joey's down at South Center or Joey's up here at U Village. It's got the right atmosphere. I mean, the food is pretty good. and they're able to get us in. The service is excellent almost all the time. And so I mean, that's an appropriate vibe for when we want to go out and just hang out and talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, it does get kind of loud.
Yeah, but that's the best. I mean, when you got a spot where you like the food, you like the atmosphere, and everyone can get to, that's you can't beat that.
Do you have a favorite spot?
I don't have not necessarily a restaurant, but I do really like the Sloop's Tavern over in Ballard. They have good food, but it's a bar that doesn't get too ruckus. It's just a good spot to hang out. I got pool tables, everything you kind of need to just hang out, and it's a great local little spot too, where you see all sorts of people. Even ran into our coworker Jonah there one time.
I love it. Okay, coming up next, we hear ya and our words to live by. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
The John Curley Show.
Katie Wilson is putting her team, her powerhouse transition team together.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
Put everything in place and solve all the big problems that everybody expects to have solved when it comes to government. When I asked her if she's okay with being, the West Coast Mondani, she seemed to have no problem with it. And of course, Mondani, the new mayor of New York, has said that, there's no problem too small that the government can't solve, and the government cares so much. The government's going to care so much, and the government's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You know how we always like to get a second opinion on big decisions like our health, our car, maybe our home? Why not your finances? After nearly 40 years working in radio, I have seen the markets change a lot, as you can imagine. But one thing never changes, and that is having peace of mind. It always feels so good knowing that you have that. And that is what you get when working with the fiduciary advisors at Trajan Wealth. They can take a look at your old 401k or your investment portfolio, and then they can show you how to put that money back to work. They focus on low expenses, experience management, and smart tax strategies. Schedule your complimentary consultation with Trajan Wealth and get a second opinion that you can trust. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan, spelled Trajan. You can also find them at TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Husky Nation, the rivalry is on, but this time it's bigger than football. This holiday season, we're taking a fight from the field to the table with Rivalry for a Reason, a competition fundraiser between UW and Oregon fans to tackle food insecurity across the Northwest. Every dollar you donate counts as a vote, and votes are unlimited. So let's outgive the Ducks and show our Husky pride. 100% goes to households in need, thanks to Safeway and Northwest Harvest. Visit dogsvsducks.org today.
Choosing a company to replace your windows and doors can be like throwing a dart blindfolded. With so many options, how do you hit the bullseye? Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. We know it's a challenge, but our team is committed to guiding you with patience, knowledge, and professionalism. And that commitment is why you voted us Best in the Northwest for 2025. So thank you. To celebrate, we're offering an incredible 5-year, zero-interest financing plus 15% off until the end of the month. For quality comfort and peace of mind, visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Cars for Kids reminds you time is running out to donate your car for 2025. Call 877-CARS4KIDS now to secure your 2025 tax deduction and vacation voucher. That's Cars with a K.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
And just like that, we have wrapped up our Tuesday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is through all the lines at SeaTac Airport, and he was happy to share with everybody that it was smooth sailing today. So I hope that everyone has the same luck that Gee does if you are going to head to SEA. But right now, let's read through some of our text messages.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Brian in Bellevue said, it's easy to poke at SeaTac Airport, but just imagine how lost we would be without it. I want to give a shout out to, I flew during the government shutdown.
Yeah.
Easy sailing. So shout out to all of them. I think they've been doing an awesome job through a really difficult month and now going into their busiest season.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And all the improvements are now visible. And so kudos to them. Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson says she would meet with President Trump, even though he has criticized her. Kevin in Seattle says, I am rooting for Katie Wilson, although I voted for Bruce Harrell. My frustration is that our city has just become a political football. People who don't live here want us to fail because they see moderates and liberals as evil. Is it simply too much to ask that we work together to float all boats?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I-405, yes. If you are in that area, unfortunately, bad news here as the I-405 expansion has been delayed by 18 months. That is 18 months. Sue on the Cedar River says, sounds like what always happens with anything that's around Renton. We get shorted.
Boo-hoo. Joseph in Tacoma says, WashDOT contracts have liquidated damage clauses. The contractor has to pay if completion is late. And according to Chris Sullivan's reporting, there is a lawsuit underway right now.
Yes, I believe you can go back to 2023. Liz in Gig Harbor says it's way more than that. It's over budget. Remember the reset they had several years ago where they pretend the over budget didn't exist?
Yes, they said, no, it's not over budget because we're starting from zero now. Light rail to West Seattle, the price tag has ballooned by billions. Another shocker. Not. 206 says, yes, it is absolutely time to trash the West Seattle Link or light rail. I've been a West Seattle resident for over 40 years, and I voted yes on every RTA project that has come on the ballot. I'm for light rail. But sending it to West Seattle at this point, boondoggle is way over budget. Buses do a fantastic job, better job than light rail will ever do.
On digital price tags, we were talking about these digital price tags heading to shelves near you. Richard and Lacey says, I shop Walmart and half the time those digital tags are blank. That's not very helpful when you need to know what to pay for.
253 says, groceries pricing, just another way to eliminate jobs and increase corporate earnings, much like self-checkout.
We had a good conversation, I think, about marijuana use, the trends and possible impacts it can have on the body. Jesus and Ken says, I've never understood how we could legalize something that is not well known and that affects your body that much. I also don't understand how we as individuals can self-medicate ourselves without any serious education.
And specifically, if you missed it, I want you to go back on our podcast. Listen to one of our podcasts from today, actually, in the 11 o'clock hour, because we had one of our listeners join us, and she is suffering from this chronic pot user official diagnosis, and I don't want to mispronounce it because apparently I mispronounced it, but in any case, there is now this official diagnosis, and we got several other listeners who texted in and said, yeah, I'm dealing with this as well, and it just sounded horrible. D from Puyallup said, a friend of mine had the exact same problem, smoked marijuana for years, constantly threw up, and finally was diagnosed. It was use of marijuana that made him sick, and that was actually maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and there's more information to come, and we'll see as the symptoms and everything. Hopefully, treatment for that as well. Here on Campbell's Soup, Jess in Utah says, "Oof, I love Campbell's." And if you missed that story, there was a recording of not kind comments from an executive there because it was a staple growing up poor. This hurts to think the company might be lowering standards. Campbell's has been Americana as long as I remember.
For sure. Okay, it is time for us to do our words to live by. And I love this quote from Melody Beatty as we're heading into Thanksgiving. It's about gratitude. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. I am so thankful for you, Paul, for stepping in very last minute.
Happy to be here. Happy to help.
Thank you so much. Nick.
Well, the calm before the storm is reaching near its ending mark as the gates are being opened and the crowds start to embark. So wherever you'll be heading for the turkey holiday, just be ready for a little longer wait to reach your stay. And maybe find a snack or cup of soup while on your break. But don't ask the Campbell's guy, or he might have a different take. Word around the street is he might be into the louder restaurant scene or something else these days. You know, maybe trying to get into his younger phase. I don't know.
If he ends up losing his job, he might be working at one of those
maybe Joey's, who knows?
Might have to turn to Campbell's Soup as well there.
The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming up. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
The Jake and Spike Show.
My mother was a horrible cook, by the way. I love her. Love her all the live long day.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
God love her, but she was a terrible cook.
What do you think about why couldn't she cook?
I don't know.
She just didn't love you enough?
I'll tell you why she couldn't cook.
Yeah.
She was a victim of her era. She was the modern mom. They had to work, right? Both parents worked.
Yeah.
Easy convenience, TV dinners, whatnots.
Where do I put the helper?
Yeah. I wish I was kidding.
Mama's secret
Mom,
ingredient.
I love you. And, I love her. I still love her. I talk to her every day.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com. Or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Gee and Ursula agree to disagree.
This is happening until we do a better job at addressing affordable housing.
We're spending more money on homelessness, and yet it does keep getting worse.
Weekday mornings at 11:06 on KIRO News Radio.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Trees that twinkle, Santa smiles, and the stuff of holiday dreams. Join Mary Bridge Children's Festival of Trees this weekend only at University of Puget Sound's Tennis Pavilion for joy, wonder, and a chance to support your local children's hospital. Visit festivalofTreesTacoma.org.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio.